when you wanna go cry, but you can't let out all the feelings inside. So you lay in your bed under blankets and hide, and you let people know that you're feeling just fine. And your pillow gets stained with the tears that you cried, and you're praying nobody comes in, and that's why. And the redness is already taking your eyes. You wish you could hide it, but there's no disguising it. Cry. Let it all out.
If I had to be completely honest with myself, I'm tired. I'm tired, and it's not a physical tired. It's a very, it's in the soul. It's like I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of going through this shit. I'm tired of everything not working out, and I'm just like, I fucking tried, and I can't not lie and say it's not like you don't want to live kind of thing. It's more of a, if God were sitting across from me right now, there would be a part of me that would just want to go up to him and say, listen, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm fucking physically and mentally spent, and I'm done. And it's a silent battle too. And it's a battle we kind of hide from the world and from the people we love and the people we want to love or want to love us, because who wants a broken person? It's like, if they knew, like, if the people in your life knew how broken we were, like, would they stay? And then that raises the question of, like, how do I fix this? Can you fix this? I don't know.
I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home.
Being a man is what you make it. You can't always live up to expectations. You try to please everybody while you struggle, so you fake it and end up out of balance, compromising situations. As a good man, do what he should, man. Give everything he has and do everything he could, man. You might find yourself feeling all alone inside a house you built that you don't recognize as home. And that's what my daddy told me, and I'll tell my son the same. Now that I'm older, I relate and I actually feel his pain. He never cried, he might have lied, but he did not complain. And he said, son, one day you'll have to do the same. I'll get emotional when I stop and think, and I look around beyond the county lines of my small town. I think about all the men out there who feel like I do now, who are screaming on the inside but won't ever make a sound. I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and they don't care about what you know. It's not about how you feel, but what you provide inside that home. Don't give up, keep fighting. As a man, our sun is our horizon, and our father's actions play a role, and we end up like them. So they can't let us see them hurt, cause we'll embody what they do and start a generational curse. No wonder most men are so depressed, all the things that they can't express. They go to war, get thrown on the shelf, then go back to war with their mental health. Then grab that bottle and ask for help, try to pull themselves out of hell, then fall back down and then realize that they're gonna have to do it themselves. It's the circle of life. As a man, you provide. They don't know what you're worth till the day that you die, and that's when they start crying. Then move on to a man to confide in. That's why we feel we can't hide ourselves. We don't expect you to understand. We just hope we can explain what it's like to be a man. It's a lonely road, and you don't care about what we know. It's not about how we feel, but what we provide inside that home. Inside that home.
we feel, but what we provide inside that home.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Eclipse Day. That's Dax with To Be a Man. You know, we started out every Monday with that song. Welcome to Men Caring for Men. I'm Glick. We got Jaravici in the building as always. Connor will be joining us momentarily. He's feeding the youngins. And we do have two special guests with us tonight. They're going to hang out. We're going to chit chat with them and just talk about life and things. And, you know, we'll dive into their heads a little bit and get them to, we're going to listen to their stories and stuff like that.
Man, I forgot to bring my tissues for my issues.
Yeah. I forgot.
I got you covered, bro.
Yeah.
The journey of healing, if you will. But that's we got my guy Blazing in the building, and Kmag, the one and only Kmag, hanging out with us. You guys know Kmag, and you guys are getting to know Blazing as well. He's been hanging out with us on Saturday nights. If you guys aren't already, go ahead and check out the socials: Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. We do this show live every Monday, 7 p.m.-ish on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts at. All at Nonsensical Nonsense. It's all part of the network. You can also head on over to bio.link/nonsensical nonsense. Right down there at the bottom of your screen. It's going to have all those links for all the social medias. Excuse me. Including links to our sponsors. Liquid IV, your hydration destination, W Energy, your energy drink with no crash, no jitters.
I'm back.
You're super easy, all in one place for all your podcasting needs. Don't forget to check out, use our promo code Words Are Hard. You're going to save money and get discounts and all that jazz, courtesy of these guys over here at the network, over at the Nonsensical Network. It's like the NNN, man. I feel like I'm going to make a logo that just says NNN. I feel important.
Be careful, you'll get canceled for that. You're couple letters away from the other one.
Yeah. No. But as I said, we do have Kmag and Blazing joining us tonight, hanging out with us. I want to start the show like I always do. First and foremost, I want to ask the guys, do a little round table and ask the guys how they're doing. We'll start with our guest, Kmag. How's everything going, man? How was your weekend? How's your week last week? How you holding up down there, man?
Well, last week should have been about a 90 to 100 hour work week for me. It's strenuous to say the least.
Oof.
I got off early on Saturday, which was nice because I got to go pick my kids up and bring them home. And then yesterday, my stepdaughter went back to her dad's house, and now I got my tiny little minion. She's running around somewhere. I think she's eating spaghetti right now. And
sounds
hopefully,
like
right, and hopefully we have a good week.
Nice. And you're off this week, correct?
Yes, all week long. Thank God. That's the one good thing about it. Like I don't get to see my kid for 3 weeks out of the month, but when I finally do, I get her for a full week. Is it long enough? No, but
no.
Will I take it? Yes.
So when you're working those 3 weeks in a row, you're gone the whole time.
Pretty much. Like except was it last Saturday? Or well, I guess it would have been 2 Saturdays ago now. When I first met Blazing, and like when I got to reset my hours for DOT, they let me come home to do that. So I'm usually home at least one day a week throughout, the 3 weeks I'm gone. I'll get one day out of those 3 weeks.
Nice. That makes it nice. You're not stuck out on the road the whole.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
That's nice. How about you, Blaze? How you doing, man? How you holding up? How was your weekend, brother? How was your Monday?
Monday, man, it was rough this morning. I haven't been sleeping very good the last couple nights, getting over a sinus infection. But cranky this morning, poured my coffee, and then found out where the best places in Kentucky to go watch the eclipse, and it was only 2 hours away. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do that, and it put me in a better mood just for that prospect. And I went out there, got a good picture. Well, it could have been better, but decent picture of the total eclipse. I got to see 100% of it, so it was pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Good.
Good days, bad days. Hopefully, more good days than bad days around. Lately.
Absolutely, man. I am having so many more good days than I used to have. It's pretty fucking awesome. It's a it's a gravy train on biscuit wheels.
Yeah, and it's a hell of a feeling when you start having more of those good days than bad days. Trust me, I've been there, man. I know exactly. I'm there right now. Fortunately, I have way more good than bad, and then the bad ones don't seem to stick around as long as they used to. So that's always a
Oh,
plus,
Yeah.
always a benefit. And then this guy, Jaravici.
Jaravinci.
I feel like I need a break from you, bro.
You're fired.
I mean, okay.
The Irish popsicle.
No.
Irish.
How you doing, man? How's everything going over there in your neck of the woods?
It's Minnesota. Everyone here was freaking out about the total eclipse of the fucking sun, or the heart, whatever you want to fucking call it. And I'm just sitting here like, if we're all gonna fucking die today, to make it a good one, just give the fucking world a big FU and go down in a blaze of glory.
I don't understand. I don't understand people's mentality when there's an eclipse and it's like, oh, it's
because people hear what they want to hear, and if it's doomsday, then they're all out there fucking bitching about, oh, the end of the world. It's like, well, maybe for some of you, the end of the world's a good thing,
That's how you really feel there, Jarvis.
Well, no, I get a kick out of it when people hear something like this and they automatically think, oh, it's the end of the fucking world, It's just like, oh my God, let's go out and loot shit,
I heard people talking about, oh, the rapture is coming.
Yeah.
And the weirdest conspiracy theory I heard was it's a government cover up. I'm like, the only thing getting covered up is the sun by the moon. So
Yeah,
all the fucking government officials, oh shit, they know, they abort, they know.
I'm just glad it's over. I'm just, it was cool. It's a cool event. I feel like when we were younger, though, it seemed like we didn't have but like one or two eclipse. Like it was a bigger deal than what it is now. I think this is like the second or third one that in the last like 10, 15 years or something like that.
The next one's supposed to be in 20 years in 2044, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe it's just because we were kids back then and you didn't really,
give a shit.
time didn't really mean shit or anything. So it was just like, hell, we could have had an eclipse every year for all I know. We'd been like, God, I feel like there's like one my entire life.
Why do you have the lights off?
Because it actually looks a little bit better.
I mean, it doesn't make him look any bit better, but
Why hasn't Jeff been on the show?
Well, Jeff's not on Monday nights, and Connor's cooking dinner. That's what Connor does. He waits until the show starts and then cooks dinner.
well, to be fair, I kind of did the same thing. So,
Well, last
but
week,
all I had to do was go heat up spaghetti.
Yeah, he was.
no.
Easy peasy.
Oh yeah. It wasn't ramen tonight, Glick. It was actually spaghetti for the kid tonight,
It was
not
what,
ramen.
ramen with spaghetti sauce on it.
No. It was actual spaghetti and burger and all that.
No, but it's I don't know. People in their crazy conspiracy theory, and then I listen to talk radio like all day, every day. Not like political talk radio or anything like that, but like kind of like what we do, but it's on terrestrial radio, so therefore it's censored. They can't drop F-bombs and get as crazy as we do, but all the fucking jokes and puns and I heard the radio station was playing Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon all day. Like they just put it on
Good song, but it can't get overused.
Yeah, a great song, but I mean not for 24 hours. It's not.
No, absolutely.
What, no Bonnie Tyler? What the fuck? Radio stations?
Yeah. And then all the other song-based sun related or moon related or
Astrologically related.
I'm just glad this is one day and everybody will go back to normal tomorrow.
Hey, bro. Hey, Y2K. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Oh.
About 24 years too late.
Right? Yeah,
You know,
But I mean, the freak out on Y2K was just as bad as today, though. Like,
No.
maybe
no,
not
it was
where-
Literally,
a
no.
little bit worse. But
It
again,
was way worse then.
19-year-old, 18-year-old Glick, however old I was, all I cared about New Year's Eve was getting hammered. If it was the end of the world, I'm going out freaking hammered.
Exactly.
right?
And guess what? It wasn't the end of the world. However, one of those two things happened. I was hammered at midnight. But man, I am glad to have the weight of the world off my chest with this new situation, with this new company. This is like my first like official full week. Nothing changed other than the fact that I work for a new company. But other than that, it's like to have that sense of reassurance knowing that the last 45 days or whatever I've been going, what the fuck is happening? But now we're just going through the process of making everything legit. I got to get my uniform, my shirts, my tech and all that. I guess I don't know if I'm getting a laptop and an iPad or both or so. I don't know what's going on yet.
You mind if I ask what industry? I mean, you don't have to name companies or anything.
I work in property management.
Okay, cool.
I the unfancy title is I'm a maintenance guy, but
I have a friend in Mississippi that does that. It makes good money.
yeah, I make really good money. I like where I'm at. The only thing I don't like about where I'm at is the drive. I have a bit of road rage. And,
Not you, you big old teddy bear.
and I live about 45 minutes away, and I have to drive to downtown Columbus, which I'm not a big fan of big cities, anyways. So, but I like the area. I like the buildings. I like my tenants. They're super cool. So, and the job's not. It's not stressful. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I could make it stressful if I wanted to, but I would have to try very hard to make it stressful.
Fair.
But I've told people, they're like, you don't do anything anymore. So look, I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I've been in the construction industry since I was 12 years old. I started, or 13, something like that. I started working, building stuff. I stayed with it, and I built houses. I was a heavy equipment operator. I've done it all. And after close to 30 years of doing it, you know what? My body can't handle the hard work anymore. I've beat it up pretty bad. So yes, this is a little bit more relaxing and shut up, pussy. But no, I do like it. The new company seems really cool. They're a younger company, and it seems like most of the people in the office and whatnot, and they're a younger group, so they got a different mentality and a different way of thinking. So that's pretty cool. And like Wednesday, we're doing a happy hour. I mean, like literally, their offices are right across the street from my buildings, and they're doing a happy hour at one of
Fucking Dalton.
One of the restaurants right.
Thank you, Kmag.
Right at the end of our buildings. Wednesday, however, I won't be able to make it because I'm 45 minutes away. I don't want to drive. It's after work, but I don't want to drive afterwards. And then we got the show Wednesday night. But it's nice to get invited to something like that because the previous company I was with, they would do all these events and shit, and it was literally catered to the people in the office, or they would send it out to everybody. And then like a select handful of the maintenance guys. So, it's like, it's kind of nice. They sent a personal email right to me, and it was like, cool, hey, thanks for the invite, but maybe next time. But it does take a lot of stress off and whatnot. So, but I didn't really have a topic or anything like that for tonight. Typically, I usually try to have a topic, but I didn't have one because I knew we were going to have you guys on here. And I guess, Blaze, if you don't mind, I kind of want to start with you. Oh, there's Connor. Welcome back.
Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
No one told me children needed tending to.
You don't have to.
I mean, You don't have to, but it's frowned upon in a lot of states.
Yeah, it's all fun and games till my wife comes home and beats my ass because they're unalive.
Let me welcome everybody. The sixth member of NSYNC, Connor D, is in the building. Nice white hat, bro. 1998 called.
Actually, it's gray. It's just the light.
See, it's a
That
great
is-
boomer hat.
That is white as fuck.
Say
Oh,
that.
there it is. Okay, now it's gray.
I'm wearing a gray shirt with a gray hat, homie. That's definitely not white.
Well, it was white as shit a minute ago, homie.
Yeah, it's just the light.
But if you don't mind, Blaze, I'd like to start with you mainly, because you and I do have. Let's see. I say it one way, it's going to sound weird. I say it another way, it's going to sound like there was issues. We have a little bit of a history together. You were on HAPS about the same time I was, and it's one of the very few times I'll mention that app by name. But we were both kind of doing our thing on there, and I got to hang out with you a few times, and I watched your streams and stuff like that. And but you just kind of fell off the face of the earth, man.
I did. I was going through, serendipitously, we're talking about mental health. So yeah, I had to focus on that. It was some mental issues that I didn't know I had that I know I have now. Diagnosed, treatment. So I'm doing better on that front. So, but yeah, I needed the time to do that. So, and it's, there was so much negativity from that little period that I had to step away for a moment. So yeah, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, we all have to go through that sometimes. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So it's different for everyone. So, but you had mentioned earlier about road rage, and it's funny you brought that up. I went through. Thanks to the VA. I went through an inpatient program called SARP, substance abuse and therapy, and et cetera, et cetera. Just to caveat real quick, hey, I'm off the weed, but yeah, it was a lot of self medication. I diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which came with a whole slew of symptoms we can get into later. But like I said, you had brought up road rage, and not that I was a very road rage individual. There was times, there was times I wanted to pull people over and pull them out of the car and beat them. But we went through something called DBT, dialectical behavior therapy.
Mhm.
And it was originally actually designed for people with borderline personality disorder, but they've also found it's useful for people with drug addiction as well. Because even with drug addiction comes, the inability to control our emotions, and we get rageful, I guess you can say. And dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, helps kind of bring you back to the moment. Like one of my biggest things is rumination, or ruminating, all the negative shit in the past constantly going through my head. But DBT helps the person kind of bring yourself back into the moment, the present, kind of focus on that. There's different exercises, meditation, and it's not just a meditation. You're like, there's different types of meditation.
Yeah.
There's meditation you can do while you're sitting right here, just in your head. But or like sitting in your room or wherever you're at, like lights, wall, just naming stuff in your mind, what's around you brings you back to the moment. So I mean, stuff like that. Sometimes even changing the music we're listening to in the car can even help bring down our rage levels. So yeah.
I've talked about that on Glick's House of Music. How music affects us. If you're in a bad mood and you're listening to certain type of music, or if you're dealing with something emotional and you start listening to sappy stuff, obviously it's like fire and gasoline. So music does have that joyous effect.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, music's just an outside stimulant that affects us. I mean, just like our environment or anything. It's but now for some people, that loud heavy metal, death metal stuff actually calms them down because it's a way it's a way they can release that rage inside.
Mhm.
So I mean, or if I'm listening to something sappy, I get angry. I'm like, because it's bringing back those bad
Yeah,
memories. Yeah. So yeah.
it's the joys of music. It's I'm the same. If I'm listening to, and again, depending upon what's going on, if I'm listening to rock or country is usually one of my two go tos, and I've said it on here before. I'm the type of guy where one of my favorite country artists is Jason Aldean, and I swear to God that every time that guy writes a new album, he digs inside of my head somehow and gets gets inspiration to write his music because it speaks to me on so many different levels. I'm the type of guy, if I'm dealing with stuff or going through stuff, I like to go for a drive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I find myself on a backcountry road with the windows down, blasting Jason Aldean, driving 100 miles an hour. Not good. I don't recommend it, but that's how I clear my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
I told these guys once before. One time I just went out for a drive and ended up like 2-3 hours away from home. Had no idea where I was. I was just driving and wound up spending the night in this little town, and actually it was one of the best things for me at the moment. Stayed at a little bed and breakfast type place that was owned by an older husband and wife. Got to meet them and talk to them and sit down and have dinner with them because they own the hotel, they own the diner, and and it was like, well, this is where I'm supposed to be at this moment in time for whatever's going through my head. I didn't even care where I was until the next morning when it was like, all right, now I need to figure out how I get home. So, but it was one of those. It was one of those moments. Um,
And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we do just need to get away. And it's funny that you brought up it's just where you're supposed to be. I mean, that's something else that was brought up by CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. But I get to learn all these new acronyms.
yeah, you get to learn the
That's
words too.
yeah. Oh yeah. But there's a lot of big words that fly around, and you look around and everybody else is like, "What did he just say?" But it is what it is. I mean, there isn't. It should be this. This shouldn't be this. It is what it is. I mean, whatever steps have led up to this point. I mean, that's just the way it is. So yeah.
What up? Yeah,
Fuck
no,
you,
I,
Mark.
I say that a lot. There's some people that get aggravated when I say that. It is what it is because,
You can't change it. It's already happened.
yeah, I
Exactly.
can't fix it. I can't change the past, but if I can only work on the future or the present, but sometimes things just happen and it's completely out of our control. And we've talked to Connor because I was telling you Saturday night, Connor did what, 8 years in the Air Force, Connor?
I did 6.5 in the Air Force and 3 in the Army.
Okay. So,
Okay.
but his time came way too soon for him to be out of the military, but it was nothing that he did. It was out of his control.
Yeah, I think anybody that's been in the military, regardless if you're in for 4 or 24, you're coming out with some level of PTSD. Just going through basic training itself is a stressful situation and can be traumatic for people.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of people have issues with not so much the whole like it happened, like whatever it is, it's letting go of the fact that it happened and you can't do anything about it. Like, yeah, everyone can accept that you can't do anything about it. It's the swallowing that fact.
So yes, it's not just swallowing that fact. It's the fact that they condition us in the military to swallow our feelings and push them down to maintain that warrior ethos. And that's something that's hard to get over, especially when you get out of the military and you got to readjust to civilian life. It's a windy road to go down. So
I was talking to I had a therapy appointment today actually, and she brought up this chart with all these different feelings and emotions on this, and she was like,
the emotion wheel, yes.
Yeah, she was like, I bring this out for my military people in particular because they either say they're happy, angry, or anxious. They'll never say they're sad. They'll never say they're feeling emotional. None of these things, because the military reinforces this this not so much negative male connotation as you have to be able to push all that shit aside, and it's good while you're in the military.
Ethos, yeah.
Yeah, it's good while you're in the military. It's important that you have the ability to do that, but then you come out and you try and re-assimilate to civilian life, and you get back to being with your family more often. And I'm noticing it is the emotions where I'm feeling maybe something like sadness or shame or something else ends up coming out as anger.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're trying to figure out and work on. You need to figure out what emotion you're really having before you jump to the one that's the first in your head.
Because we're just like I said earlier, we're conditioned to express it that way. The sadness, the depression, the anxiety, it's all that. It's like those are negative feelings we have, and the only way we know how to express those is through anger.
Right.
So yeah. And that emotion, Will, when I first looked at it, I'm like, wow, I didn't know that emotion was, spurred onto that emotion or related to that emotion. It's not just simple, like you said, it's not just happy, sad, mad. It's guilt, shame, all that.
Guilt's a big one that people seem to drive. Again, I mean, it's like straight to anger, particularly for men and men who come out of the military. And God, I can only imagine how it is for women who come out of the military that were leaders in the military, because, and I'm not, I don't want to sound sexist, but women are really emotional and they're good at showing their feelings. And so I'm sure that to go from being able to show or not being able to show your emotions in the military, being around people who are good at it or who do it all the time, I mean, you're the outcast.
Yeah. I think on some level we're all emotional. I've always been more of a sensitive type person. I'll say it, but I've been emotional in the past. And my thing was, I'd be emotional and I'd stay on that emotion for a long time, not being able to process it and work through it. But I've learned tools to mitigate that and help me out. So yeah.
Go get it.
I think I was
Go get it right here
for a long time. Just and Connor touched on it. I think men in general were just conditioned. We don't show emotions the way that other people do. It's either we're here, we're existing, or we're angry. You know what I mean? There's really no in between. So, that's something that I've learned, and I think I might be one of the oddballs here. Not doing therapy. I tried it. I've tried it a couple different times. It's just not for me because the moment and this is just my mind. The moment they start pushing drugs, I'm out because at the end of the day, I just want somebody to talk to. And I know like they're not anything like that.
So I'm not. I understand. I was that way one time when it comes to the whole pills because I've heard bad stories. But I'm on a mood stabilizer now. Like I said, I got borderline personality disorder, and so my emotions. I mean, it's. I'm not gonna say it's more like bipolar, but my mood swings were up and down. It was never. It's always like this, and like when normal people are kind of like this. And so it's brought me down to a more stable. I'm stable in my mind, I guess you can say. I'm more focused. I can have more clarity. I can recognize my emotions and deal with them in that moment instead of not being able to. So so after I started taking that, I started taking my mood stabilizers. And funny enough, the particular ones I are on were when it first came out, it was for epilepsy, but they found out that it helps for mood swings. But anyway, I started taking about a month or so before I went into therapy. And even before I went into therapy, I was already starting to calm down. Like I was already like, oh, I don't need to smoke weed today. I don't need that beer. I don't need that shot, because I was smoking weed like I was self medicating basically. And as soon as I got on those mood stabilizers, I just felt more in control of myself. So I know there's a lot of bad stigma around pharmaceuticals and mental health. There's a lot of different types of pills for different things. First, they wanted to prescribe me an antidepressant, But after talking to psychiatrists are the one that can do medication. Psychologists don't. I learned that. But I talked to a psychiatrist, and she was like, "Well, maybe you don't need the antidepressants." After I talked to her for a while, she's like, "Let's just put you on a mood stabilizer instead," because they were thinking it was just anxiety and depression. That was just PTSD symptoms. And after talking a while, it was okay. It's more than just that. So mood stabilizer, and then therapy to learn the mental tools. Put those nice positive tools in my toolbox.
Mhm.
So I don't discredit the medication right off. And a lot of people, it takes a few different tries to find the right one. So
I just, for me, it's more of a personal thing for me. My mom, she was a pillhead. My cousin was a pillhead. So, I just, it's like I don't go to the doctor, unless something has to be really wrong. And even then, I'm like, when they prescribe antibiotics, and Nikki's noticed it. A few weeks back, I had a tooth infection, and it was all down in my neck, and my face was all swollen up. And she made me go to urgent care, and they prescribed a antibiotic and like an ibuprofen 600 or whatever. And I was like, ugh. And she's like, it's fine. And I was like, well, I'm is there anything addicted in it? Like I don't want to be, and I know it sounds dumb. It probably sounds really stupid to other people. Like it's an antibiotic, but I have a fear of, I don't want to end up like my mom or my cousin, both of which are no longer with us. And my cousin, actually, I've outlived my cousin at this point. Because they did have doctors that, my mom could walk into this doctor's office and say, "Hey, I cut my arm off. I need this, and this," and she's got both of her arms. And the doctor's just going to write her a prescription for everything. And if he's got free samples, he's giving them to her. So I'm kind of turned off. But I did, one of the last therapists I went to, I actually met a gentleman that was in there. He was a patient as well. And him and I got to talking because we were just in the waiting room talking one day. And I was telling him, I said, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to come to, because he's already starting to want to put me on meds and stuff like that. And I don't want to be on pills. And this guy started talking to me about like dietary stuff and working out and everything like that. And hey, Mandy, what's going on? In different workouts. So, like when I'm at the gym, which I need to get back to, but I'm there. I want to lose weight, but I'm doing different types of workouts that, he taught me that not only is it going to work out your body, but, getting your body right is also going to affect your mind. But some of these workouts that it's just something that he just did on his own. He said it started helping his mental, his mental whereabout and stuff. And I started doing some of those workouts, and I'm like, okay, so, and plus I listen to music, I zone out when I'm at the gym. So I found alternative methods so that, I didn't wind up depending on the meds. I mean, the people who use them, great. It's just a personal preference for me. I know they work. I have that almost fear of.
All right. So you brought up your family's history with pills, and I think that's a reasonable concern because addiction can run families. So I mean but finding something else like working out, changing your diet, getting a good restful sleep every night, those things help our mental as well. I mean, it helps with especially with the working out and stuff, helps with positive self-image, helps with going to sleep. I mean, if you're getting good REM sleep, you'll be better the next day. Exercise, and I don't want to say people just go to the gym. Go exercise, even if it's walking 5 miles or something. Just me, I can't stand the gym. I don't like being around a lot of people. So my enjoyment is hikes and walks in nature and etc. So just whatever you need to do to get out there. What's that?
That's what I like about my gym. I still live in a small enough town, small enough city that there's never a lot of people there. So, I mean, and especially if you time it right, there might be like 6 or 7 people in there. And it's like, it's a Planet Fitness. So it's a big ass gym. So it's like, I'm over here in my own little world. And
That's not bad. That's not bad. You're not fighting over equipment.
yeah, and that's me. I go in. I got noise canceling earbuds. I put them in. I play my music. Sometimes I'm listening to. You guys can make fun of me if you want. I don't care. It just depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm listening to boy bands. Sometimes I'm listening to like fucking Guar. You know?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Guar.
Yeah, sometimes I might be on a Britney Spears girl band kick or something. It just whatever my mood is that day. But I'm that guy. If you pull my earbuds out, if I'm in the gym 5 days a week and you pull my earbuds out 5 days and put them in your ear, you're going to hear something different every day of the week.
Have you ever accidentally? I was just about to ask that. Have you accidentally started singing out loud to Britney Spears?
I have never started singing out loud to Britney Spears, but I have a couple of times when I lived in Charleston, and that gym was a little bit more busy. I have because I'm in my own world, I'm in the zone or whatever, and I've accidentally started singing out loud, and I'll be on a piece of equipment and get you're singing. Okay.
One more time.
Just start singing louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, never accidentally sang Britney Spears out loud. However, I was driving the forklift today at work and apparently not paying attention. I was singing Bill Withers. And this old lady was like, "Oh, I like that song. You have a nice voice." I was like, "What?" Again, I'm in my own little world. That's a happy place for me. Driving equipment. I love operating equipment.
I hate to do this. I have to take a moment. My medicine alarms are going off, and it's
You're good, man.
medication.
Go ahead.
So 8 o'clock every night and every morning. And then whenever I get back, if you have any questions or anything you want,
you're good, man. Don't worry about a thing. So don't feel left out, buddy. I see you down there.
Who?
Apparently, there's an owl on the show.
Oh no, I'm just listening, bro.
Well, I wanted to kind of get an introduction from both of you guys because we do got a break coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. So you actually, and this is part of the show. I want men to. I want other men to feel like that they can come on the show and be a part of the show and share what's going on in the world and what's going, just share your story, so to say.
Right.
I am kind of curious. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to, introduction to yourself. But what's going on over there in your world, man? Like, what kind of things? What kind of things are you dealing with? Are you?
Well, on the mental aspect, the industry I work in, and oil and gas, it's just like construction or any other, blue collar industry, long hours, away from family, friends, loved ones, stuff like that. And people might not know, but it does take a toll on us because, when you're working. So the second week I was back at work, this last hitch, I was running 20-hour days straight for 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And, that's that people don't see the physical strain or the mental strain that actually puts on a person, and like Blazing and Connor both said, like the military condition new recruits and stuff like that in boot camp to, basically swallow their feelings and keep them pushed down. It's kind of the same in the blue collar industry, because it's hard to just walk up to someone and be like, hey, I'm feeling this way, or hey, I'm feeling this way, because you're going to get looked at, probably laughed at, or nowadays it'd be like, oh, do you need a safe space or something like that? And like I've had a lot of mental trauma throughout my life. Like I've seen shit and had shit happen in my life, that has taken a toll on me, and it's like, holy shit, And then, you say you have a show where it's like, no one judges you, we'll still call you a pussy though. But No.
Well, that's on Wednesdays and Saturdays, not on Mondays.
Okay. But no, like, you know, and I had a real bad drinking problem, and it was to the point where, you know, we talked a little bit about it last
I would have never
Saturday.
guessed after Saturday night you had a drinking problem.
Oh, dude, that
Yeah, I
was
would never guess that one.
dude, that was mild. I mean, there was a point in time where you would have never even known I had any alcohol in my body at all, because that's just I started drinking and never stopped. If I ever went to a bar, it wasn't for 1 or 2 beers or just to hang out and play pool, shit like that. No, it was I'm on a mission. We're gonna get fucking annihilated. We're gonna shut the bar down, and when that's done, we're going to an after party. And that was the life I lived for 12 years almost. And my humbling moment, I guess you could say, was when I found out my ex was pregnant with our daughter. And it was kind of like a smack to the face because, you know, I hadn't really been there. Like, I hadn't really shared how I felt about things with her and this, that, and the other, you know. And most of that was because I wasn't really sure how I felt about myself at the time, you know, like a lot of people say you got to love yourself before you can love someone else or like yourself. And that is true. And so it was after I've been married and divorced twice. My first divorce was my roughest. This one here didn't really take that much of a toll on me because it was kind of it was more mutual than the first one, you know. But I'll be right back.
Hounds of hell.
Yeah.
The hounds of justice.
You know, you hear. Kmag just said, you know, it's so weird now. It's like his screen just had a hole in it where you can see down the hallway.
Yeah.
You know, it's very rare that you hear the comment when it comes to divorce mutual. Yeah, you know, typically divorce is very one-sided. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's it's the woman who's leaving or wants out or whatever. I don't think people really understand that a lot of times it's a two-way street. Things happen, you know, it's not just one person solely. I mean, that was something the first year or so that after my wife left me, I had to realize it took a lot for me to realize. As mad as
Sorry about that.
As mad as I was at her and stuff like that, you know, I was just as guilty as she was.
Yeah.
I think that's why we were able to, you know, have the you know, not that we're super close or anything like that. We're not hanging out on the weekends or anything, but you know, we do co-parent very well. We get along very well. I think it was that, you know, I had to come to terms with the fact that it wasn't all just her fault. Whereas she had to do the same. You know, she had to have that moment with herself as well. But usually it's, you know, when it comes to divorces and stuff, you don't hear the phrase "it was mutual" or more mutual than than the last one. Hopefully, I never have another divorce. You know, I plan on. I always said I was only going to be married one time and one time only. However, you know, things change and things happen. So,
Oh man, I told myself that for a couple of years after my divorce. I'm never gonna get married again, and blah blah blah. Marriage is stupid. Blah blah blah. And now I'm kind of like, if I find the right person again, it's definitely on the table. So
yeah.
But and I don't want to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead, K-Mag. It's your time anyway.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. I was gonna say, but that also goes back to back then, though. That was probably during the times when you were in some of your dark times as well. You know, so you had to find your center again and for yourself before you could even remotely consciously put that back on the table for yourself too. You know.
Yeah.
And see, and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I've had 2 relationships since then. One prior to therapy and medication and one after. And the one prior, it was still a shit show of a breakup, I guess. I hate saying the word breakup and girlfriend boyfriend type high school shit, but we don't really get along. I try to reconcile, at least friendship wise. Nah, that bridge is burned. But the one after, we're still friends. Like
Right.
yeah. So I was able to handle rejection. That was one thing I wasn't able to handle for the
Mhm.
longest time. I couldn't handle rejection. It was, there's burning bridges, and then there's calling in an airstrike to make sure it's never rebuilt again. It was that extreme for me,
Mhm.
and I'll admit it. It sucks for other people. I mean, it sucked for me, but it was definitely more a me problem than a them problem.
Right.
No, exactly. They always say that there's those people who like to watch the world burn, and I've joked around on the show, but I'm those people. I'll watch the world fucking burn
Right.
around me, and not think twice about it. Um, but I will say that my ex-wife leaving me, that was an eye opener on a lot of different levels. That started me down the road that I'm still on to this day, 6 years later, 7 years later, however long it's been. Um, and not only that, but I've had since we split up, I've had before I met my fiance. Now I had 3 other relationships, and one was very weird. It was not a. I don't know. It was just weird. The other one just you know uh, not paying attention to red flags, and then being more mad at myself that I let it happen again. And then the last one before I met my fiance now was just I don't even think that relationship was supposed to be any more than what it was, and that was just that extra kick in the ass that goes, hey, it's all right if you put your foot down and stand up for yourself and put yourself first.
It does. Yeah.
At the end of the day. Um, and that's kind of the mentality that I have now the last couple of years of first and foremost, I got to get rid of the toxicity and the toxic people in my life. Former app, like you said, there was a lot of toxicity on there and a lot of toxic people, man.
I had to cut a lot of people out of my personal life too, but
And
not just people there,
mhm.
but and nobody's specific. I mean, but I had to cut other people out of my life just because it wasn't so much. It's because some people have this stigma around mental health that you're just and don't get me wrong. I mean, there for a little bit. I mean, I did feel like I was a broken person, but
Mhm.
they don't want to see past the mental health. They only want to look at the symptoms that you're exhibiting and just judge you on that. Even after getting help and stuff, I still get that from people, and it's like, why am I trying?
Yeah,
So
and
sometimes you have to maintain a healthy level of selfishness
mhm.
for your
Yeah.
good, for the good of yourself. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've
Agreed.
cut people out of my personal life. My circle has gotten very small. I mean, I've said it on here. I love my parents to death. I love my dad to death. Was never the greatest dad, but you know, I haven't spoken to him in about a year and a half now. But they were one of
Yeah.
those people that I had to do what was best for me mentally, and I had to eliminate them out of my life because it was just wearing heavy on me. The way that they would talk to me and treat me, and it's like I'm a grown ass man. Like I'm a grown ass man doing things that on my own that you never had to do. So
Yeah.
get off my back. But yeah, personal life, online. Hell, I've created a whole new circle of friends online just in the last year alone. And Jarvis is a part of that. Kmag is a part of that. The guys from Talking Shit, they're a part of that. Leggy and I were able to put our differences to the side and become friends. I
Mhm.
consider Leggy a friend. Uh, you know,
So just to reference that app again, I don't think you and I really interacted that much. I don't remember.
It was it
Um,
was I would come in. I think we were live together a couple times. I would watch some of your lives and hang out
mhm.
a little bit. and be in the comments here and there. But also, it was very hard to keep track of anybody because it was just so random and sporadic on there. I think the only people who had
This is
schedules
true.
on there were Jeff and I, you know, and that was really the only time I was on there. But every once in a while, I get like a notification if Tony or somebody like that was live with you or whatever, that I would pop in and be in the comments. And like I said, I think I only actually came up live with you once or twice.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't like we interacted a whole lot. You were just one of the few people that I did like to watch on there. I liked your content for the most part, which is another thing because there wasn't many people on there that I cared for their their content.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did it kind of as an outlet for myself at that time. Before I started even streaming, I'd always like bounce around to different streams, kind of trolling people. But I try to do it in a funny way, and sometimes kind of in a satirical way. But and then I was like, I'm gonna start streaming just for a little personal outlet. But honestly, I never really looked at myself as anything of significant value doing it for anybody else but myself.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
Well, that's honestly what got me in. I've always wanted to do podcasting, but when I was married, and again, this is one of those things where there was no physical abuse between my ex-wife and I, anything like that. But she had mentally broke. I was mentally broken. I the last 4 or 5 years of our marriage, I pretty much lived in a garage. I didn't go out a lot with her. I didn't get invited out a lot with her and her friends. There was an image painted of I was an asshole and I was always grumpy and stuff like that. So for the most part, my life revolved around going to work and coming home and sitting in my garage and playing video games or watching TV. And then I found Periscope. Like I started hearing them talking on the radio about Periscope. Shortly before that, I was on Ustream. And Ustream was only around for a hot minute. And I would jump on there sporadically. It was like, oh, I kind of like this. I always wanted to have a podcast. I wanted to be I still want to be in radio one day. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old for that. I don't know. But, never say never.
Well, I'm glad you said the radio because you only got the voice for fucking radio.
Got the face only a mama can love.
And that's debatable sometimes.
Mama Squatch. Mama
Squatch
loves her baby Squatch. But so and then the day that Periscope came out, I was like, let me download this and see what it's all about. And I downloaded it. I was kind of watching people, and then that very first Saturday, I was sitting at home alone. I was drinking. I was like, let me set up my phone and just go live, And I had no idea what I was doing, but I did. It was my way to get to the outside world because the only thing I really knew were my kids, my house, and work. I didn't really have many adult interactions or anything like that. And it became my outlet, and it became my place where, I could go and hang out and chit chat and shoot the shit. And it was just me, and people watching and commenting. And then before I knew it, it was like, man, I had to create social media for it because people wanted to follow me. And then, Saturday night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whenever it was that I would go live. If I wasn't live, I would start getting, hey, where you at, Glick? Everything, everything all right? And I never had people checking on me. Like, I made the comment about, an attempt. And I said, when I made my last attempt that I knew it would be a good week or so before anybody even thought that I was gone or thought that I realized that I was missing. So it was like, oh, wow, these people actually, they're online. I mean, they might give a shit about me. And it was, and it was fun because here I am thinking, this is just me having fun, having a good time, venting, whatever. But I never thought I would get like 3 or 4 people to come in there. And then I do these lives, and there'd be 500, 1,000, 2,000 people in there watching. It's just like, holy shit. And then when Periscope started to fade, my kids were getting involved in TikTok, and they were still kind of young. And I was like, let me jump on there just to keep an eye on them. And they're like, Dad, you got to make a video. I got on TikTok, and then that became my way to vent. I could make videos and silly videos, kind of going off of how I'm having a crappy fucking day. I'm feeling like shit. Let me make a couple videos with some cool songs or whatever. And then it got to the point where I was able to go live on TikTok. And what's up, buddy?
Camera.
And being able to go live on TikTok was just another place for me to kind of hang out. And then Jeff and I did, and I still had this mindset of wanting to start a podcast. And Jeff and I were talking. We would talk 2 or 3, 4 hours a day on the phone. I don't know what grown ass men talk to each other that long on the phone, but Jeff and I were doing it.
Definitely not doing your fingernail secrets, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, they're just bullshitting, But and I was like, Jeff, I got a crazy idea. I want to start a podcast, but I don't want to do a podcast on my own. And before I even finished, he said, I'm in. Let's rock. And it's funny because today is the 3-year anniversary of when I started promoting the podcast and went out and got all my equipment and everything like that. So I was just like, that's kind of cool. It popped up in all my memories.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
Way to vent. And then the podcast thing has just become our way we have fun. I have a life out now. The last couple of years, I've actually, been getting out more. Hell, Nikki and I, we go to concerts, we go to sporting events, we go camping and shit like that. We're constantly going to PA and so it's like I have a life outside of the podcasting, believe it or not. It's just at the end of the day, this is my dream. This is also my way of clearing out all the negativity in my head. And that's why I said, I had to get past all the toxicity and the negatives, the negative-minded people that were out there and just kind of get away from them and start all over. And I'm loving, creating the community that we're currently creating. Potentially there's a new podcast that wants to work with us. We might be adding a new podcast to the community down the road. We're still in talks. I'm still filling them out and everything, but they're from the UK area. So it's just like, okay, now we're going to,
I didn't know if you wanted to do the break now or not. Not to cut you off. I know you do a break after an hour, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. It depends on how good the stories are getting at that point.
I thought that's what Jarvis was here for, to make sure the production was on point.
No.
Come on, Glick. We're not here for the fucking epic.
We're up here for it. We're up against it, asshole. No, actually, I was actually just looking at that. Do want to take a real quick break. Shout out one of our sponsors here, Liquid IV. We were talking about it earlier. Not only with your mental health, but getting your physical health affects your mental health as well. And Liquid IV is going to make sure you're properly hydrated. Got about 16, 18. I think they're up to 18 flavors now. They got sugar-free options. They've also got kids Liquid IV as well. Liquid IV, 1 packet and a 16-ounce bottle of water is going to hydrate you 2 times faster than water alone, 3 times the electrolytes, those leading sports drinks, and 5 essential vitamins there for you as well. Real people, real flavor, real hydrating. Over at liquidiv.com, use our promo code Words Are Hard. You're going to get 20% off your entire order when you shop Better Hydration today. Well, let's see. What do I want to do? I'm going to do a little cover of Green Day's Basket Case, and then we'll be back here in a few minutes talking with Blazing and Kmag. We're gonna get back into Kmag's world as well, and I got some questions for Blazing. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. Enjoy this.
The time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once. I am one of those mellow Sometimes when my face tricks on me, it all keeps adding up. I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid? Or am I just stoned?
Oh, a little basket case if it was a country version. Yeah, I like that. I ain't mad at it. Welcome back to Men Caring for Men, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we got a whole house here tonight. We're hanging out with our special guests, Blazing and Kmag, sharing their little mental health. I don't know why I said little. Sorry, I didn't mean to downplay it. Seen Brian.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sharing their mental health struggles and journey and where they're at today and how they're doing all that jazz. And as usual, we got Jaravici in the building.
Hey, yo,
Over
hey,
here.
yo.
Connor D in the building. What's going on, buddy? He took off his hat. Now he's no longer the sixth member of Backstreet Boys.
See, now I'm just a struggling father and husband. Disheveled.
Might I make a suggestion for you?
What?
Do like Adele and set fire into the rain, buddy.
Chloroform works amazing too. Just
dude, I'm about to go shove 10 milligrams of melatonin down their throat.
Yeah,
I just spike my kids' sippy cups with NyQuil. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Hey, what happens? Little Z-Quil?
I'm not losing my mind.
You guys know me. I'm Blake. Welcome back to Men Caring for Men. It's our men's mental health podcast. If you're not already, go ahead and check out the social medias. We are everywhere across the board. Don't forget, you can also listen to us every Monday, 7 p.m.ish on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And if you miss us live, you can listen to us anytime, any place, wherever you listen to podcasts at. We are on all them podcasting platforms. I don't know how or why, but we're there. Or you can simply run on over to bio.link/nonsensical nonsense. All those links are there. Give us a follow, give us a listen. And if you'd be so kind, give us a share. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, Liquid IV, your hydration destination, W Energy, your crashless, jitterless energy drink, W.GG, and Zencaster for all your podcasting needs. Super easy to use in one place. Zencaster.com. Make sure you use our promo code Words Are Hard at checkout at all those places. Get those savings, get those discounts. What the hell are you doing? Yes, good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
She just got a job.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Working at the Chipotle. See y'all in the chatter's box. What's going on? What's going on, ladies? What's going on, Brian? Fireman Rich in the building. What's going on? How you guys doing? Welcome. So as I said, we were chatting with the guys here, and I want to kind of continue to talk to Kmag a little bit here because you did. I want to kind of talk to Kmag here because he was talking about dealing with alcoholism, dealing with divorce, being at work, just you military guys know what it's like. I mean, I remember, back in the day, I've had days where I was working 14, 15, 16, 17 hours a day, being from in Ohio, working construction in the summertime. You literally worked from sun up until sundown, and you were at the shop before the sun come out, and you were still at the shop hours after the sun went down because you were preparing for the next day or cleaning up or doing whatever, just killing yourself. And I know you guys in the military, you guys put in a fuck ton of hours. I swear to God, every time I talked to Connor, it didn't matter. I could talk to him 4 or 5 times a day when he was in like Korea or something. He was always at work. So
It was a second home.
yeah.
Home was my second home.
Kmag, to kind of pick up where you left off, you were talking about your divorces, because apparently you didn't learn the first time.
No. It's like that saying, I learn things the hard way. It just takes me about 30 times to figure it out. But that not being the case in this instance. But no, so like my big deal was communication. Like I sucked at it, and I tried to talk to her about it a lot, but anytime we started talking, it always turned into an argument, and I'd shut down because I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you about it. Like, I'm trying to tell you how I feel or what's on my mind, and it turned into an argument, But that was with that was with my second ex, and me and her kind of reconciled. We're friends now, and like things between me and her are really good as far as friendship goes. I mean, I get my kid. We don't hassle about it. There was no long drawn out court processes for it or nothing like that. Like, we work with the scheduling that I am dealt with or dealt in the industry that I do. And Fireman Rich, that is exactly right. Communication is important in both directions. And it wasn't there, or it was, and I didn't hear it, or she didn't want, but one thing I learned though, Glick's got a house full tonight. But like, so one thing that I learned was that like when I shut down, like I literally I'll close myself off from everybody, family, friends, loved ones. It doesn't matter. Like I'll listen to music, I'll play video games, I'll do whatever I need to do to get the emotions in my head out. Like I'll use music as an escape or gaming as an escape for that, or vice versa, however it works out for me. But I have been getting better at communicating. Like I said, me and her reconciled, and me and her's actually sat down, and we've both actually talked and listened now that we're not together.
It's a lot easier to do that when you're not.
You're right. It is
of an actual, the daily. I mean, I ain't got nothing on you, K-Mag. I've only been divorced once, so
Well,
when you don't have the normal day-to-day stresses and the aggravation and frustration of and not that marriage is bad. Don't get me wrong, guys. Marriage is great, but it comes. It's part of the package. You're going to have stresses and frustrations and aggravations. It's not necessarily your partner. It's just life in general. You and them are your number one sourced event.
Yeah, no,
when
exactly.
You don't have those stressors and frustrations, it's a lot easier to sit down and have a conversation with somebody and talk about things.
Yeah, no, it really is, and me and her.
There's nothing to lose at that point either, like Leggy just said.
Exactly. And me and her, like I said, we've reconciled. Our friendship's there, like we're good for our daughter, and that's the big part, being there for our kid. So now I do want to kind of hopscotch back here a second and talk about my first divorce. That was just a train wreck that derailed, caught fire, blew up, derailed again on the same tracks, and literally just ignited a nuclear explosion. But so I have 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son, but I only get to see my daughter because my first ex-wife, in not so many words, she's a good mom, just not a good person, in my opinion. But
hey, same opinion about my ex-wife. Great mother, horrible wife.
Yeah, but me and her got a divorce because, like I said, I work in the oil and gas industry. I'm, like Glick said, sun up, sun down, well after sun's already went to bed, Then you come home and you want to relax. You don't really want to do anything. And she was always like, well, you never want to do it. I'm like, I can't even schedule anything to do because if I wasn't at work, I was on call 24/7, 7 days a week for about 5 years straight, you know? And you can't really plan anything with a job like that. And I tried talking to her about it. And again, it was the same thing, she, basically, anytime we tried to talk, it would turn into a fight. Well, me and her got divorced, and she was one of those that hit me with child support, alimony payments, like you name it. I've got a payment for about everything you can get a payment for in a divorce, other than a car payment. And she was like, well, she's like, I'm gonna take our son and I'm gonna she's like, I'm moving back to Missouri. And I was like, and subconsciously myself, I didn't want her to do that because I knew at that point in time if she did, because I don't think she quite understood. Not right now. Go play. In a minute. Go play. But subconsciously, I don't think, or I think that I already knew that if she moved to Missouri, that I would never get to see my son very often because my work schedule and all this. The one thing I asked her and the one thing she's done for me throughout everything is she lets my family see my son. Like my mom gets my son and my dad gets him and my sisters will get him, throughout the year, whatever, which is amazing. And like, it sucks for me because, I get to see him grow up through pictures from my mom or this, that, and the other. But at the same time, it was, even when I could have him when she lived up here, I was never there, I mean, I was there physically, mentally, I was never there because I was either too tired or I was drunk off my ass 100% of the time, And so I had to make that decision, like, do I want to try to continue to be in my son's life, or would it just be best if I reach out to him when he's old enough that I can sit down and try to explain things to him if he even wants to hear it, And that was like the hardest thing on me because that right there, just having to do that was detrimental to me physically, mentally, emotionally on a lot of aspects. And a lot of people have said, well, you could still see him. You're right, I could. But the kid has no clue who I am. He knows who my parents are and, stuff like that. But as far as his dad goes, whenever she moved, I think he was 8 months old. I'd seen him probably 4 times in that 8 months because of work. And I don't want to confuse him because I think, so he was born in 17, so he'd be 7 years old. Yep, 7 years old now, and it just wouldn't be fair to him, in my opinion, like I don't want to just come into his life. But anytime I could get him, me and his mother, well, I say me and his mother, would start screaming and yelling at me every time I picked him up or dropped him off over nothing. Like literally, I would walk in the door or I'd knock on her door. She'd open it. She'd give me my boy, and then she would just start screaming at me. And it's like, I don't want him growing up thinking that I'm a bad dude because she screams and yells at me all the time over half the time it was stuff I didn't even do. But she was diagnosed bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder, stuff like that as well. And she never did anything to keep that in check herself. So anytime she had outbursts or any of that going on, it was focalized on me. Well, I would just work more. I would work more. Or I would drive home really slow. That way, all I had to do when I got home was go to bed. Like it was easier for me that way, I guess. I don't know. And then after that, I became a raging alcoholic, and literally I would sit in my garage from the time I'd get off work till the time I had to go to work, drinking beer after beer. And I can honestly say it's a miracle that nothing bad ever happened while I was driving a truck drunk all the time. I don't do that. It's not recommended at all. But I did. I did it for 5 years straight. Like sun up, sun down, fucking I always had carried a 12-pack of beer in my lunchbox with me just so I could maintain the buzz.
That's a big lunchbox.
Yeah. No, I had a big enough lunchbox. I carried a 12-pack of beer and a few sandwiches and some snacks in it.
Well, that's what I was telling you guys, and I've said it out here. Shit, when I was going through that time period of my life, I had a cooler. I kept a cooler because I did the exact same thing you're talking about, K-Mag. From the time I woke up until I passed out, whenever the hell that was, I had a drink in my hand. I had a beer or a bottle of liquor or something. But that was that slap in the face or that eye opener that for me was when my ex-wife told me she was pregnant with my oldest one. And I don't know, it was kind of like a light switch. A light switch went on, and it was like, you know what? I lost control of this monster a long time ago, and somehow I'm still here and breathing and kicking. Let me rein it back in and get control of it again. And yes, I still drink to this day. I'm not, but the difference between then and now, and I think you could say the same thing, K-Mag, is, I have control.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of addicts, when you're addicted to something, you lose that control. Yeah. And I'm no expert. This is just my opinion. This is just my personal opinion. I think when you're an addict, I think you lose control, and that monster, that addiction monster takes over all control, and it sucks because you don't know how to function without it. I was a functioning alcoholic, which sounds like you were as well.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times people had no idea that I was hammered out of my mind.
Yeah, and that's no shit. Like I could walk a straight line. And like I said, I don't condone it anymore. Like I'm not a huge fan of it, and I don't do it. If I drink one beer, I sit at home. Like I'm not going to drive anywhere because I've got two reckless drivings under my belt now from piss poor decisions, leaving bars and shit like that. And my eye-opening moment was when my ex-wife said that, she was pregnant with our daughter. And right then and there, I literally had a mental breakdown in our living room floor at like 3:30 in the morning. And like, it was fucking.
Shut up, Leggy.
But it was a huge eye-opening moment for me, I mean, it was one of those things like I'm not gonna do this to my kid, she's not gonna see her dad drunk, and I made that decision. And like I said, now, I mean, the other weekend, you guys saw me drink a 6-pack of beer and get all fucking loopy and doopy and shit on it, but that's about all I drink anymore. You'll be lucky to catch me drinking more than a 6-pack,
I mean, I could still throw them back, as we all know. I mean, I can still throw them back, but there's a big difference between, a Saturday night now and a Saturday night back then. A Saturday night never ended back then. Exactly. Every day was a Saturday night. You know what I mean?
Oh
yeah. I still get up Sunday mornings, or Sunday early afternoon-ish. That's a great thing about my kids being older. Connor, one day you'll get there, brother.
They can get up and make their own breakfast. That'll be the day.
Okay. I just want to point something out. The way his hair is right now, he reminds me of the guy from We're the Millers, and he's like, I'm looking for a haircut, and he's pointing to the guy's like pointing to his head. He's like, yeah, that one.
Absolutely, I agree, Rich. And no, Leggy, I'm not addicted to podcasting. I'm addicted to success. I'm addicted to blowing up and being fucking successful and
Wait, we're
popular. Not
successful?
necessarily popular, but
I was
just
going to say, then why are you on here?
look. We all do charity.
First of all,
work.
Connor, fuck you.
Success
And
is on a
second of all-
spectrum.
That's
And
right.
second of all, you
Just
got a
like
point.
Chris.
Yeah. Look, we all do charity work in our life. You know, this is me. I have to do community service and do a podcast with the likes of Connor and Jarvis and Jeff.
Facts on facts.
I want to hear from Jarvis tonight. He's
Oh,
been very quiet in the corner as of late.
Why
He has
can't we fucking ask Connor, like, hey, Connor, how's your day? How are you doing, buddy?
I've already told you how my fucking day is going, Jarvis. I've already fucking told you.
I always feel bad when people call on me.
Like, I will stab you right now.
You know what? I will say this: I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the last 3 years of nonsensical nonsense. A lot of broadcasting hours. Fireman Rich, you're not wrong. A lot of growth. With deciding to create the network, and even though the network that is being created right now, 3 of the 4 shows are hosted by me. I love it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having so much fun with it. And right now, there's big things going on. There's big things coming up. Things I can't talk about yet. Some things I'll be talking about very soon. But at the end of the day, it's all 100% been worth it. And not only that, but it has also been one of the best things for my mental state, my mental well-being. Getting my head cleared sometimes.
We got blown up.
There's been times where we've come on the podcast, and I've told Jeff I got a lot on my mind. I got to talk, and Jeff's like, "Let's go." I'm right here, man. And this is back in the early days. I mean, even now, there's been times where Connor's like, "Hey, I got this on my mind, bro. All right, stage is yours." Or other hosts that we've had, or other co-hosts that we've had on the show, from Mike to Tony or whatever. Hey, if you need the stage is yours. Doing this show, allowing, guys like Blazing and Kmag to come up. We've had Haas on the show, even Connor and Jarvis themselves, putting the spotlight on them and letting them just get out. This is great. This is what I wanted. And so, yes, addicted to podcasting. You maybe in a way, by broadcasting hours, maybe in a way, but ultimately, I'm chasing down a dream, and that's my kids are good. I'm in a healthy relationship for the first time in ever, I think. My kids live with me. I got a good job, and I get to podcast, and not only that, but I get to podcast with people that I call not only friends but brothers, and we get to make more friends along the way. So. This is a hell of an addiction. I'll take this addiction over some of the other addictions at the end of the day.
That's right.
But speaking of which, I do want to ask Kmag one thing, and then I'll let Kmag flip it on Jarvis. You said, did you say you're off? You're not smoking at all anymore? No, or you say you're off the weed? No more weed?
Well, that was Blazing.
That was Blazing.
Oh, yeah. Blazing. So distracted by his freaking his background picture.
It's a pissed off Viking in the background.
Sasquatch and ain't
okay. I was always wondering, but the Vikings got pointy ears. Is it a Vulcan Viking?
Well, it's a demonic Viking, actually.
Viking.
It's for my streaming profile for Twitch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yes, I've totally quit the weed, at least for now, until maybe I'm 65, sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair. But so, I like I said, I needed to refocus. And with that being said, I'm going back to college here soon, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. So a good focus. I'm gonna get my bachelor's in fine arts, digital photography to be exact. So
Let's go.
I was going to ask you too the other night, Blazing. Did you ever get those pictures I sent you?
I think I did. I don't know. Saturday night shenanigans. I'm pretty snickered.
That ass, Mark.
The champion, Mark.
He's chasing that ass.
So what I'm hearing is fine arts bachelor degree in digital photography. I'm hearing promotional pictures and promotional stuff. I know who to go to now.
While I'm going through college, I'll probably be doing a lot of freebies. So I can build my portfolio. I will hit you up, or you can hit me up. Give me a little bit before I start and stuff. And yeah, we can do something. Not a problem.
Gentlemen,
Not a
I see
problem.
some Backstreet Boys style cover for a nonsensical nonsense photo shoot.
And the caption is going to
Messed
be,
you up.
I'm just there to
I
snap.
want it that way.
Tell me
Why?
I never had to hear you say.
Oh my god.
I want it that way.
That's cool.
Uh,
Man. That's actually really cool. Going back to college, and I was curious about that because I thought that's what you said earlier is that you weren't smoking anymore, which I'm a big proponent of medicinal, recreational. It is what it is. As long as you're able to contribute to society and work and take care of your family and stuff like that. That's all that matters. I mean, there's people out there that literally can't drag themselves off the couch from playing video games because all they want to do is live off of mommy and daddy and get high all the time. So
A lot of my use was avoidance and basically escapism. So, and I've reached I with the help of therapy and stuff, I've convinced myself that now in my life I just don't need it. So
yeah.
Oh, you're just
Well, yeah.
mad, Brian, because you lost. Let's be honest. Those picks you made weren't working out for you, buddy.
Yeah, no.
You talking to me?
No, Brian
Stuck in-
Elam.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not keeping up on the
Save
chat.
it for Wednesday. Save it for Wednesday, Jarvis.
I know. I just like
Here, Blazing. Use this.
Hey, what's up, Pat? Long time no see. What up, man?
Be good.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate you.
Now, so I mean, it sounds like from where you
Facts
were,
on facts,
I don't know
lady.
what, a year or so ago to where you are now. You're in a.
It's been a
Blaze-
couple years.
a
Probably
couple
more
years?
than a year for sure. Yeah, I
Uh,
think
it was-
I left Oregon in September of 2022. So yeah, it's been about a year and a half or so. Yeah. I get messages from time to time on Instagram from a couple people. So if you're listening or you ever hear this, I want to say thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
You're good.
My son's here. They just got back from their moms this weekend, and it was WrestleMania weekend, and he's becoming a big wrestling fanatic. As I have Cody Rhodes here on my desk, staring at me while we do the show, and he's having a match over there on the bed discussing Raw tonight with me. So my kids have no care that I host a podcast.
Fair
Neither
enough.
does mine. You see mine coming in and
Like,
out of the background. All
This
the time.
is this is why you'll get your own studio one day.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull a Jeff and put a lock on it. It'll be like Fort Knox to get into it.
You have one of those signs on the front or on the outside of the door that says live or not live.
Yeah.
Podcasting. Leave the food at the door.
But no, man, it's awesome to hear you're doing better. And every day is one step. I think for all of us, every day is one step closer to being
What
better.
happened?
In processing and dealing with things. Unfortunately, for you, Jarvis, Blazing kind of puts you on the spot. You know, you don't have to go into all the crazy full detail or anything like that again or anything.
Okay,
What-
hey,
What do you want to know, Blazing?
hold on. For some reason it froze and all you guys dropped for like a half a minute. So you're gonna have to repeat that.
Oh, I just said that you know, Jarvis is kind of getting put on the spot from Blazing. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, what's going on, man? How you know, basically what's going on in your world? Where are you at right now? Without going into, you know, you don't have to go into full detail.
Oh, so I was gonna get. I know four of us seem to all be all in about the same generation, and you're a lot younger. I was wondering what affects you.
Well,
Well,
actually,
Connor's younger than I am.
yeah, you would actually be
Oh,
surprised.
I'm sorry, Connor. I apologize.
Oh, you don't have to. I'm not offended.
Connor's the fetus.
The beard throws it off.
Connor's
Yes.
only 26.
Okay.
Jarvis is what, 32? Jarvis 31.
31.
Yeah.
31.
I actually thought Jarvis was younger than that. I apologize. I got that.
K-Mag's gonna fuck
that-
all
I
of us.
appreciate that. I appreciate that, Blazing.
And K-Mag's about to fuck all of us up and be like, I'm only 19, guys.
19 on my fourth divorce.
I'm 19. It's been a rough 19 years, gentlemen.
Got married at 12. Wrong girl.
Fuck you, Mark. I'm not fucking 60, you fucking hobo or I can't even call you fucking Sasquatch, you hobo.
Jesus,
Oompa
can you
motherfucker.
say some real words?
So what we have learned,
No, words are hard.
what we have learned about Jarvis, or what I've learned about Jarvis in recent weeks, is he suffers from a very bad case of Tourette's.
What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Fuck up. What?
Yeah.
Every other word is fuck.
Shut up, Connor.
Play video games with Steven. You swear to God you were playing with somebody who had Tourette's.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
No, it's more like a 15-year-old who just learned how to say cuss words.
Facts on facts.
I'm Triple H.
But no, Blazing, whatever you want to know, you can always ask.
Oh no, just in general, man. It was nothing specific. I mean, you were just real quiet the entire time and very respectful. I just wanted to give you, I'd like to see you have some floor time as well.
Well, I mean, it's
Mark,
just.
that's the other redhead. Sorry, Steven, didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
I just can't leave that comment alone.
That's fact.
A redhead, you're standing up for another redhead that they have souls. Look, we know you're lying, witches.
Burn them, or as Monty Python says, you know, if they can float like wood, then you know they must be built of ducks or some shit like that. But
Jarvis does have, you know, but what, you know, off the redheaded thing, Jarvis does have a very old soul.
Kick my ass, Connor? I think you mean kiss my ass, Connor.
Fortunately
Dude,
for you.
I was about to say, there's no shot. I couldn't kick your ass if you sat down on my foot. All right.
Jarvis does have a very old soul. I think that is part of his upbringing, the people that he grew up with. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jarvis, but also, you know, this is just my kind of opinion from what I've heard from Jarvis, and you can feel, you know, please elaborate on it more. Jarvis didn't have an easy upbringing and an easy life when he was younger. So I feel like he was kind of forced to grow up a little bit faster than most people.
Well, I mean, you know, as I've said earlier, and even on the trauma thing, I didn't know who my real father was until, you know, I was in third grade because my mom decided, hey, you know, Steven's had a good enough life already. Why not? Let's, you know, throw the proverbial powder keg and lit match on it. So I found out that my real father, you know, had kind of coaxed my mom into an extramarital affair, robbing me of what I could have had as a normal life. But he found out he was having a kid and decided that after I was born to take off. So my brother's dad, who is kind of like an adoptive dad to me, took me in as a baby and raised me as his own, kind of, you know, had told my mom early on, you know, like, let's let Steven have a normal life, or at least attempt to. And when I found out about, you know, my real father, Ernie, it was kind of just like, you know, my mom didn't know how to handle how I was reacting at home, because like I cut off. I pretty much said, you know, in my mind, where it was just like I didn't talk to anyone. My teachers at school were getting worried because like they'd ask a question as just like I'd just sit back and just go like, what do you want me to fucking, or not swear, but it's like, what do you want me to say? You know? And so then was having principal involved, having teachers involved, and then it was told to my mom, well, why don't you get them into therapy? And the first time I went through therapy, it was kind of just like, they probably just gave the guy a PhD and said, here, make your money, because he just sat there and said, dude, you're in third grade. What do you have that's wrong in your life? You know? So then I was like,
dick.
Yeah. And then, you know, later on, my mom was very abusive, not only to my older brother, but to me. And then, you know, once graduating from high school, it was kind of just like, fuck, you know, what am I supposed to do now? And then it was just basically up until a few years, it was just punching the clock, you know, and luckily along the way, met a great woman that, you know, should have seen a couple of signs, and probably no one would have blamed her if she would have left. You know, Glick always says I have her tied up in the basement, which, you know, hey, honey, how are you doing over there? Do you
Not
need
far
any
from
food
that
or anything? Shut up. Shut up, Connor.
I've seen that fucking wall heater you got her chained to, you dirty bastard.
I mean, seeing as how my wife's just sitting over here.
I know.
Make sure you keep the bolts tight to the wall. This things can come off.
Right.
Make sure you hit a stud. Those anchors don't do shit.
Yeah. I was gonna say one thing that's really like mentally disturbing Jarvis right now is his one light.
Why?
Because you only have one light, Jarvis.
I'll be honest, I'm confused.
Yeah, so am I. Okay, but anyway, but anyway, just it was great to meet Alyssa. Not so great to meet her mother, but you know, you take the good with the bad. Like I told Alyssa, I said, you know, never thought, you know, being with her for 7, now almost 8 years, and being married for almost 2 now, that one, I'd have a woman that would be like, hey, you know, even though you've had these things go on in your life, you know, you're still a decent human being. I mean, Glick and Connor always tell me, you know, behind the scenes, how much of a piece of shit.
Whoa, see, that's, you know,
I am.
That's just a lie.
Coming to you behind the scenes.
Well, if you guys would have fucking waited, I mean, Jesus Christ.
But no, why do you put up with that?
You know, it's just great to meet some of the great people like Kmag and Dalton and Blazing and Connor and Glick. You know, we all joke around, you know, a lot of them, you know, talk shit about, you know, one light, you know, they don't know behind the scenes that I'm having my mother-in-law power, you know, pushing that bike pedal just a little bit more, hoping, you know.
Got her locked inside of a hamster wheel.
Exactly. Thank you, Connor.
She's through an IV, hoping the heart attack comes.
I just want to say, I don't think you're a piece of shit, Jarvis. I think you, with all the red hair and stuff, you're a bloody piece of shit.
Hey, fair. Facts on facts. But
you're
no,
more than that.
When Glick asked me, you know, which I was very honored that Glick and Connor even wanted me to be a part of the show. It was just like, as Glick knew, I had to ask my wife if I was even ready, because, you know, dealing with the numerous therapists, and then of course, hey, you know, try this. Hey, you know, try this. Oh, that ain't working. Try this. And then, you know, now having a psychiatrist and going back to therapy, it was one of those things where it was like, I told Glick that I was like, okay, I'll do it, but just know I'm gonna unload a lot of shit that's been there for many years, that a lot of people are just like, oh, dude, you know, just start drinking or just deal with it. We don't want to hear it, you know, type shit. And it was just like, luckily enough, I didn't go down the path my brother did, but, you know, I'm very proud of him, because he turned his life around from where he was at. And as I, have heard from not only you, Blazing, but Kmag and Connor and Glick and a bunch of other people that, it's what we deal with doesn't define who we are. It's just those hurdles in life that we're trying to get through in order to figure out who we truly are. Because, some of us, we know who we are. Others of us, we don't. Most people would probably think, oh, hey, Steven lives a wonderful life outside of this. But to be honest, I look forward to this. Or I look forward to when, I hang out with K-Mag or, Blazing or Connor or Glick. Just doing this, it gives you a reason to wake up sometimes in the morning and be like, hey, I'm a part of something.
Having a supportive community is a good thing.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very important.
I think that's one thing. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to catch backlash for it. So go ahead. I think that's one of the things that I do kind of pat myself on the back about, and it is kind of an ego stroke, is over the last few months I have been able to put together a little community of very supportive people to finally find that outlet and finally find that community of people who are going to support each other, not only doing this show, but just in general in the podcasting world, who actually stand by what they say when they say that they want to support each other and uplift each other and be there for each other. I think over the last couple months, I've started to put that together. And it continues to grow. We're not only in the podcasting world, but into the musical world. Leggy is part of that musical world. Rock Lee's coming on board more often. There's a community of us that are actually really saying my grandfather always used to tell me, say what you do and do what you say. That's something that's just always stuck with me. I can't stand people who are like, we have this community and we have to support each other, blah, blah, blah. But you're the biggest voice and the loudest voice in the room, but you're not even doing the things that you want other people to do. Like, I'm very proud of that. And I do want to, I do kind of pat myself on the back and say, hey, good job, man.
I'm still not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Smart man.
It's good Kool-Aid though. Just try a sip. just try a sip.
There might be a little bit of poison in there.
I am very, very proud of the community that we have with talking shit and Jarvis and the guys that are on my shows and our outside friends that watch the show. And we got Blazing to come out of the closet finally. Not that way, but
I know what you mean.
Well, maybe a little bit of both.
We're still working on that. It's okay, Blazing. Just the tip, buddy. Just the tip.
No, he came out.
But no, and Jarvis, I've told Jarvis a million times. From where he was when we first met, he was a guest on our show. We interviewed him. Where he is today, I'm super proud of him. I'm super fucking proud of him. And that's hell. He's a part of the whole week's worth of shows now, and not necessarily mine doing. That was Connor's doing. So if anybody don't like it, you can yell at Connor.
You're welcome.
Connor sees talent. He sees talent where others.
No,
don't.
I saw a punching bag.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I was getting sick of using Jeff. It was getting boring.
Thanks, Rich. Have a good night, my man.
Hey man, cheers to you, Rich. Appreciate you.
Ciao for now. See you later, alligator.
You don't have to have a penis to believe in what we're doing here. I do. That was the most surprising thing when it came to this show. Some of the support that we've gotten from female listeners. I'm not going to sit here and read every comment or every message or anything like that, but there's surprisingly a lot of women that are watching the show and enjoy or listening to the replays and like what we're doing here. I know I've had a few of my friends that have introduced their husbands to our show, which is super cool, or their brothers, or even their dads. Girl I grew up with, her dad messaged me and was like, hey, really watch podcasts or know what podcasts are, but I was told to watch this one, and I really like it. Because he's of an older generation, and a lot of men, and that's the great thing is when you have the real conversations and the real men that are actually not doing this for views or likes or clout or anything like that. We're just trying to heal and be there for each other, uh, and break that stigmatism. It's going to open a lot of eyes, and they're going to, and it's going to, even the older generations that is watching, and because they're part of that vicious cycle, unfortunately, that our generation, and Connor's generation. I gotta say Connor's generation because I guess he's in a different generation than us. We are tasked to start to break that cycle, start to put chips in that armor of that vicious cycle, and raise our sons up with a different mentality, with a different outlook on life, and that it doesn't, you're not weak because you show emotion or or anything like that. It doesn't, hell, I've said it on here. My son and I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and we got done watching it, and he was like, "I seen you crying over there a couple times." I was like, "I wasn't crying, all right." I said there were tears in my eyes. Yes, maybe a few of them escaped, but that was a sad movie, man. I don't know if you guys are Marvel fans or comic book fans. I was a huge comic book fan. And that broke my heart watching the story of Rocket, man. I already knew it was coming because I read the comics, but it still broke my heart watching it on the big screen. And I said, "I seen you crying too." But I asked him, I said, "Do you think that makes anything that makes me any weaker?" He's like, "I wouldn't tell anybody to fight you." So, I tried to let him know it's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay if a movie touches you and plucks at your heartstrings a little bit. It's all right. We're human beings. We're not fucking robots at the end of the day.
True.
That's right.
Or as Jarvis says, facts on facts.
Facts on
Yep.
facts. I'm just gonna give that to you, Jarvis. All right, you can have it.
Thanks.
You claim that one, buddy. You claim that one.
Hey, new merch over at the Jarvis Podcast. Facts on facts.
Actually, you can't say that.
I thought that was Jarvis's little catchphrase. I always
No,
hear him
it
say
was
it, so I
fucking
always,
Glicks, and
I always
started
contributed
saying
it to him. So
Connor was saying it. I was saying it. I think Jeff said it maybe once or twice, maybe.
When do I say facts on facts? When do I
thought
ever
you
say?
did. I'm sorry.
When does
Connor.
Connor ever say anything?
I was gonna say we're just lucky.
This coming from Kmag? Kmag, you're gonna talk to me about never saying anything.
I talk all the time, fucker. No, but
we are coming up on another break. When we come back from break, I want to ask specifically Blazing and Kmag, but we can get us all involved. And I've asked this question before, so it's kind of redundant, but it is what it is. I want to ask the question, especially for the as we have guests on the show and stuff like that. But I want to ask you guys. I want to talk to you guys when we come back from break about we're obviously we're doing the therapies. We're talking about things. We're growing. We're becoming better. Mentally. We're doing the things we're supposed to be doing. But I want to ask you guys as far as, because again, like I said, we all know that not only in order to have your mind right, you got to have your body right. What kind of activities you like to get into. And I know Blazing, you kind of touched on it with your hiking and stuff like that, but also what other outlets you have to kind of help get your mind right, clear your mind, to help you on this road that we're on to get better and whatnot. So we'll do that when we come back. We are going to take another real quick break. As we know, when you're dealing with these mental issues, sleep is not always our friend. I know Connor and I have talked about it. Lord knows I've been a functional insomniac for the better part of my life. But fortunately, there are people out there. There are things out there that are going to help you get through the day if you are dragging a little bit of ass, if you don't sleep so well the night before. I'd like to direct you guys to our friends over at W Energy. The great thing about W Energy is, unlike the other energy drinks that are out there, there's no crash. You know, that's the downfall with some of these big name energy drinks. You drink one, and an hour later, you're hitting a wall at 100 miles an hour. So you have to drink another one, and then another one, and then another one. And before you know it, you've drank 4 or 5 of them to get through the day, and you look like a crackhead down on the corner, shaking for your next hit. Those are what we call
the Red Bull, man. I need that Red Bull.
Or you end up 26 with hypertension.
Yeah.
It's always targeted advertising. Like
W Energy is they're gonna take those crashes and those jitters away from you. Not only that, but they actually taste good. Unlike other energy drinks, they all taste the same. They taste like the ass of a meth head that's been dead for a week. Let's be honest.
I don't want to know how you know that.
I have so many questions.
I wonder if that flavor is really that equivalent.
You know, I've lived a hard life, Blazing. I've done things I'm not proud of.
Fair enough.
W Energy actually has really good flavors. You're gonna find something to enjoy. I recommend you guys go ahead and try out Dragonade. That's one of my favorites. Also, it doesn't sound good, but I promise you, it is delicious. Dub Sludge. You can check those all out at w.gg. Use our promo code Words Are Hard when you shop at the Energy. I lost my train of thought. When you shop. Just
Words Are Hard.
Crash, just Words Are Hard. Promo code Words Are Hard at w.gg. Just fucking forget the last 3 minutes of everything I said. The train 100% fucking derailed.
Chris, how do you spell W?
D-U-B-B-Y. Let's see what do I want to do here instead. Let's do, you know what? I'm going to do this cover of... I got this cover here that's been hanging out. I don't know if I played it or not. I got this cover by fuck, man. I just completely derailed over here tonight, guys. I apologize.
Maybe he needs a dubby.
I do. This is a cover by Youth Never Dies and Project Vila, and it is their cover of Papa Roach's Last Resort. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I come out bleeding. This is my last resort. Cut my life into pieces. I've reached my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arm bleeding. Do you even care if I die bleeding? Would it be wrong, would it be right? If I took my life tonight, chances are that I might. Mutilation out of sight, and I contemplate
And welcome back to Men Cam for Men, everybody. Appreciate y'all hanging out tonight. Hopefully you're enjoying the show. We got special guest Blazing and Kmag in the building, hanging out with us. And we got the usual suspects here as well. My co-host, Jerabishi.
Hey, yo.
Connor's in the building. And you guys know me. I'm Glick, doing what I do, hanging out with these guys, having a good time, having a good conversation. If you're not already, excuse me. If you're not already, go ahead, check out the social media. We are on all social media platforms. You can also follow or hang out with us live, get in the chatters box. It's always open. We do encourage you guys to be there, engaging with the show and taking part of the conversation. We do the show Monday, 7 p.m.-ish on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can also listen wherever you listen to podcasts at on all podcast platforms. All at Nonsensical Nonsense. It's part of the network. Or you can simply run right on over to bio.link/nonsensical nonsense. All those links are there, including the links to our sponsors like Liquid IV, your hydration destination, liquidiv.com. Shop better hydration today. W.GG, your energy drink that's going to get you energized and focused and ready for your day ahead of you. And last but not least, Zencaster, the all-in-one, super easy podcasting destination for all your podcasting needs. Zencaster.com/pricing. Use promo codes. Words are hard across the board. You're going to get your savings, get your discounts, and nobody is going to be mad at saving a little bit of money and getting a little discount. We got you hooked up. Holler if you hear me.
Quick question. It's Liquid IV and their website is WGG.
Yeah, W.GG.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So W is the W energy, and then Liquid IV is the hydration. Liquidiv.com.
Gotcha. Okay.
Two different companies. Yeah. Two different companies. Liquid IV and then W Energy.
Okay.
And hopefully one day to have a nonsensical nonsense energy drink. Just saying.
We're already trying to get a nonsensical nonsense combo on Brian's wife's food truck.
Isn't that just when you like crush up the Adderall and throw it in your water?
Yeah, pretty much. But
oh, hey, cocaine. We'll just quick put that in the energy drink.
Hey, go get you fired up and riled up and ready to go. But no, welcome back to Men Caring for Men. We've been talking with Kmag and Blazing tonight. You know, they shared a little bit about themselves. I would love to have the guys back on the show another time for regular conversation and to also get to know them a little bit more as well. But you know, Kmag talked about going through dealing with alcoholism, the various other things that come with life in general, divorces and stuff like that. Blazing, is currently recently found out, being diagnosed with BPD, right?
Yeah.
And that's sorry,
borderline personality disorder.
So I wanted to ask you guys, as here in this last hour, I wanted to ask you guys, when you find yourselves kind of having a bad day or maybe a rough week or whatever the case may be, what are some of the things that you guys do to kind of help push through or get through them? And I know we kind of touched on a couple things. We just kind of touched on them a little bit here and there, but I'd like to hear from you guys because I know everybody's different, and it's one of those questions that I kind of want to ask people as we progress and go on, because maybe something that you guys do might help somebody else down the road as well. I mentioned meeting a guy in therapy and, talking to him and, things that he told me and taught me have helped me. So if you don't mind, Kmag, I'd like to just start with you. What are some of the things that kind of help you when you're in a dark spot, maybe having a rough spell, if you will? Either his mic is muted or
I don't hear him.
Yeah, it was.
There you go.
That was my bad.
I was saying either his mic's muted or I went completely deaf.
No, so it all depends for me. Like say I fall into like a slumming moment or a dark moment, like while I'm at work or something like that, which happens quite frequently for me. Um, at the end of the night when we're done for the day, I'll grab my dog and we might go walk, you know, like some of the truck stops we park at are kind of out in the country, they're not necessarily in cities and shit like that. So we could walk a few miles, and come back. But when I'm at home, like on my week off or something like that, generally speaking, um, some of the things I like to do to take my mind away from those dark places is I like streaming. Streaming's always been a passion of mine, like for a long time. I dabbled in it a few years ago and got out of it because I didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And then here recently, I made the affiliation on Twitch. What was it, Jarvis, last year?
Yeah, something like that. Because you got affiliate like a month after me, I think. Maybe even a few weeks after me. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. And no leggy, no Luby Wanks.
It's CWC leggy. Let's come on, get this right.
Cry, wank, cry.
Yeah, that's right.
Or if you're really professional, it's wanking while
Repeat.
crying.
Cry, wank, cry, repeat.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Repeat cycle.
Yep. Rinse and repeat.
But
the pages of my Playboy stick together because of tears, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Blazing, I know you're a little bit older, but I'd like to introduce you to this thing called the internet. I'll drive down there and I'll show you the
no more the X videos.
An unofficial.
That's why that inner key is so sticky. Shit.
I need Jeff to create a sound with the Pornhub sound.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Pornhub is an unofficial affiliate. What?
But
yeah, start paying us, Pornhub.
We so one thing I found helpful for me was like I used to do a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5M, and I used to be on like the role play servers and stuff like that. And a lot of my characters' driven emotions in the game were actually stuff that I was dealing with in real life. Like I just brought them into a virtual world to say, But yeah, no, and playing with my daughter. Like my daughter is a huge part of my life, and as soon as we get off here, we're gonna go play kickball in the living room because that sounds safe.
Damn it! Another window.
use a baseball, or use a bowling ball.
Right. But no, those are some of the things I enjoy doing, like to get my mind off things, and they seem to help over the years and throughout. So,
oh good God, Leggy.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, I would own like stock in that company.
See, we already got investors. We already got
welcome to Nonsensical Lubricant. How can I help you today?
We already came up with our own condom brand on last Saturday's podcast. So I mean, hey, we're gonna be making this. How many
lubricant would you like to order today?
You're welcome, porn industry.
Next will be nonsensical nonsense only fans.
Oh, good.
We already kind of have one of those. Thank you, Stephen, for the hard right turn.
What did I do?
You indulged her.
I think Leggy's more perverted than us.
Well, see,
I'm not saying that in a bad way.
See, the numbers has to do with something called an algorithm. They don't like us very well because we talk about shit.
Because we don't filter or edit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Somebody says something slightly offensive, and we're like, send it, make it worse. And the internet's still
branded Kleenex.
as Blazing said Saturday night, tissues for my issues.
Branded.
So
my issues, it's everywhere.
You know,
I could just see Connor with the fucking nonsensical nonsense lube. When you want lube that actually works, nonsensical nonsense.
And don't forget about the cleanup afterwards.
Yes, I was gonna say those Kleenexes you can use
yeah,
for tears and
for your issues.
The name of the
Whatever your
Kleenex
issues
is Cry Wank Cry.
Clean off the laptop.
Wipe
yes.
your tears away. Wipe your excess children away.
Leggy, will you be our what is the word for it? Our
Spokesperson?
not spokesperson.
She's gonna be the CEO for the nonsense sex
yeah,
store.
Thank you. She's gonna be the person that like makes our brand or our shit work.
Marketing.
She's gonna do all our legit stuff, all our legit
logistics.
And then no, our actual products are. She's gonna market them, and then we'll have Jeff market all the gag gifts.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Connor.
By Jeff, you mean me?
Sure.
No, I said the gag gifts.
That would be everything, wouldn't it?
Jeff trying to we don't count on Jeff for anything more than showing up on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
I mean, to be fair, Connor did show up.
On me for.
Connor did show up, puked 5 times on one show, and Jeff didn't even appear that whole week. So let's be fair.
To be fair, I just missed almost all of last week, not including the 5 minutes that I was on one show.
You missed 1 week. Okay, sorry, Connor.
To be fair.
To be fair.
That's my line.
Whose line is it anyway?
God, Alyssa.
What?
Capio, that's a good idea.
Did you just shit your pants? We heard it on the podcast.
I think she did.
I will take your advice to consideration. I'll bring it up to my board at the next board meeting, Capio. I appreciate you.
What board?
Who's on that board? You, me, Jeff, Steven, and possibly 2 other people.
Me and a 12-pack of Miller Lite is on that board.
Oh,
I was about to say the only person on that board is fucking Sasquatch over there.
The board consists of me, a 12-pack of Miller Lite, and my championship belt.
oh, behave.
You never behave, Leggy. Let's be honest, and that's why you fit this show's branding so well.
You behave. It's just not. It's not the behavior we were looking for.
This is not the behavior you're looking for.
We did an episode on trauma, and I think we had the conversations talking about trauma, but I think we had more laughs and jokes in that show than anything else, because at the end of the day, let's be honest, part of healing, part of your mental health and part of your healing is to be able to laugh, and sometimes you have to be able to laugh at yourself. But
Slick looks like that kangaroo that got punched in the nose one time and just puffed up.
Just how I look.
All I see is just this.
I was gonna say, dude, you got to go back to your door and do the Conor McGregor walk to your
The Roadhouse one, Kmag.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jarvis is the Wish version of Conor McGregor.
Fuck you, Connor.
What's going on, Stu? I appreciate
He's
you.
Canadian instead of Irish.
Well, I mean, Blazing has called me Irish like 5 times during my show.
Irish popsicle.
Wednesday night, Kmag, you'll have to make sure you tune in. That's how I'll start the show. I'll do the Conor McGregor walk through the door. I got
no chance. That's what you got.
Clothes are optional.
Yeah.
Hey, at this point in time,
all right.
I'll do the walk down the hallway so you guys can see my bare ass.
So hold on, right? So here's Jarvis. He's going to take his clothes off. He's going to take one pair of pajamas off, reveal another pair of pajamas underneath the pajamas.
What do people have a problem with relaxing? That's my thing.
He probably has DC comic pajamas underneath his Marvel comic pajamas.
Yeah, right. Jarvis, you know what? I come home from work. I take my work clothes off. I put on sweatpants. I put on basketball shorts. I put on.
Thank you.
T-shirt, and then on the weekends, The only reason I change my shirt on the weekends is because I do a podcast and I don't want to wear the same shirt, on
As far as anybody knows, all you're seeing me wear is a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's all. Well,
He
as
could be
I
naked from the bottom down. We don't know.
No, you're
You
thinking
never
of
know.
You're thinking of Jeff. He's usually on the shitter anyhow.
Yeah.
He's been outside a lot lately now. But, maybe if you'd show up, you know that.
Poor fucking
Toilet
Connor.
outside.
Come on, keep it coming. Let's go. Get it off your chest.
Steven, Connor needs to borrow that wobbly stool and short piece of rope you have.
Fuck no. He's
No,
gonna be able to have it after I'm done.
If I wanted to do it, I'd do it. All right.
Don't worry, Connor. After I'm done with it, my wife can send it to your place. We just need your address.
I'm not going to use a used rope.
Wednesday night,
I'm talking about the wobbly stool, not the rope.
Wednesday night, I am starting the show full of piss and vinegar. I'm gonna be on one Wednesday night from Jump Street. So, but that's a whole other story. Blazing, like I said, I wanted to kind of go around. It's okay if we get sidetracked. Like I said,
some brevity is always nice.
As weird as it sounds, sometimes when we get off track, sometimes we have to on this show because not that tonight's been super heavy or anything like that, but sometimes we do have some pretty heavy shows, and it's okay to go off the rails a little bit and joke and have a good time. That's, again, like I said, it's part of healing. But I did want to ask you, Blazing, because I know you mentioned going for your hikes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other things that you do, when you find yourself having a bad day or maybe in a dark place or whatever? Because you mentioned, what was it, ruminating?
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't know there was an actual word for that, because again, I'm no expert on this shit. I'm just a guy who fucking lives it, or who lived it and lives it on a daily basis. Yeah. And I didn't know there was an actual name for the things. I just call it the hamster wheel of negativity.
Yeah. There is a word. It's called ruminating. One of the things I like to do is read. I like reading. I think words are fun. They can be hard, but they can also be fun. So yeah, I like diving into a book.
You sound like my nerd fiance.
Yes, I am. I can be a bit wordy.
You read, Lane Dexter.
And if you get me on a roll, I can get pretty loquacious too. But I love to read.
What that means.
Okay. Oh, does that? I mean,
it means rambling on,
right?
You could just say that
for someone.
I could, but for me, loquacious comes to the tip of my tongue faster. Anyway, I love to read. I'm actually. What's that?
Is that the black you met at the strip club last weekend?
Honestly, that was exactly what I was thinking, but I was going to let him keep talking. So.
Fair.
We'll let Glick get us canceled.
But I do want to say one thing, not to cut you off, Blazing.
No, you're okay.
Chris already did.
My name is actually one big acronym.
What is it?
Stands for Kiss My Ass, Guys. You're on your own.
Okay. All right.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
What's the 23 for?
Is when I started streaming on Twitch.
How many guys he's been
Your
with?
age or the year?
The year.
Okay.
Definitely not my age, because I'm well over by about 22 years.
Dude, I love old people jokes. That was great.
Good job, Blazing. Wait, I got it. Good job, buddy.
You got to really reach for that.
No, here. Oh shit! No, over here.
Fucking Kmag, don't be blocking.
Steven's got Slender Man arms. He can reach.
So you
I got a T-Rex. Well, no, I don't.
You like to you obviously go for hikes. You like to read. Is there anything else that you do before you were interrupted?
Photography.
For 50 years.
Sometimes I just like to just chill, listen to music, watch movies. Just whatever I can do in that moment that I know will make me happy to distract me from whatever is eating away at me. So yeah. Sometimes this right here used to be one of my things, was jumping online, but that even became a little waitful too. But not so much anymore. So yeah,
It has its moments. You know, we've had the same problem on this show. I'll be 100% honest with you. There's times where, uh, certain individuals would bring other individuals, or there was both, and it was just like it almost lost its fun. So I totally get what you're saying.
sometimes, excuse me. Sometimes it's okay if you needed to take a break, dude. Let Jeff kind of steer the train for a little bit, or
Good
Connor.
one, Blazing. Good one.
You know how hard it is.
That train's done derailed 4 times, and that's
Just say,
it.
you know how hard it is to get any of these guys to. In all honesty, they'll be here for me. They're great backups. I'll give them that. They great co-host. I would actually. My ultimate goal is for Connor to host this show. But when I said that, Connor looked at me like a deer in the headlights and went, "What?"
Well, because you hadn't discussed it with me prior to that show, and then you were just like, "Oh yeah, my ultimate goal is to."
And I didn't mean like.
Hey Connor, here you go. Here's your own show.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was like, "Hey Connor, by the way, this is your show now." Deuces, I'm a
No,
co-host. Yeah.
it was just out of the
But
blue
that's the
for
goal.
me.
That's the goal down the road, and I'll still be around to help out and do whatever I can as far as the hosting role goes. I'm going to still be here co-hosting with him. I've got his back, but ultimately I would like for it to be his show and him to do his things. I would. I don't think I would ever give up the reins of nonsensical nonsense. But if it was like a Wednesday night, I could probably give up the reins on Wednesday night and then take back control on Saturday. I would love to be able to do that. Unfortunately, Jeff's just not in the right mindset or have any aspiration to do any more than what he does.
Nothing wrong with that.
If you're going to host a show, you also got to handle the social media for that show, and all of our social media is on one page and stuff like that. But and I slack in that too because I got a lot on my plate when it comes to the podcasting stuff. I'm trying to get better and trying to be better about it, but there's a lot on my plate. But no, like I said, this is and you said it Saturday night. You said that you would love to come up and be a part of Saturday night shows more often. And I told you flat out, absolutely, bottom line, doors always open, brother. Doors 100%.
I will definitely do that. Yes. I do want to get more involved in the Saturday night shenanigans. It's fun. It's a good outlet too. Just having fun is something I like to do. Just having fun with friends and cutting up is definitely a good outlet.
And that's basically all we do. Every once in a while, one of us might have a topic of conversation. For the most part, it's just fucking hanging out, and people dig it. Like I didn't ever think that would be a good podcast, but people dig it. People like it. They're watching it. They're listening to it. Yeah, maybe we don't have the live viewers that some people think we should have or whatever, but the replays of the podcasting platforms, they don't lie. I mean, that's ultimately the ultimate goal. That's where we're going to get the attention of of other people and other things and other doors and other opportunities are going to open. So no, I totally feel you. I don't read a whole lot. I have to be into the topic or the subject. I'm very into I'm heavy into true crime and paranormal and stuff like that. And I enjoy reading those books because I can get a book that's this thick, but it's literally one story after another, which feeds into my ADHD. I think that's why I don't like to read, because I'm not going to read The Outsiders because it's 200 pages of the same thing. I'll just go watch the movie.
Yeah. I actually dropped off. I dropped off from reading for the longest time. For whatever reason, probably because of shit going on. But I like philosophy, and one of my guilty pleasures that I've been more doing lately, just so I can get back into reading, is fucking love a good zombie novel.
We've had them.
I don't know what it is, but zombies are amazing.
Yeah,
she's super sweet, Kmag.
She is, like I said, she's what keeps me going anyway.
How old is she? 5?
4.
It's a pretty good guess.
Yep.
She'll be starting school soon.
Oh yeah, she turns 5 this September.
I teach Nikki all the time because since she's got her Kindle, she's read like probably at this point she's read like 275 books.
223.
I got a Kindle. You know the best thing about a Kindle is if you're reading a book and you hit a word you don't know, if you click on it and highlight it, it'll pop up the definition.
I don't know anything.
Chris needs that.
I feel like that's most books I read.
What does befuddled mean?
What does mean?
He said loquacious. What?
Loquacious. Again, it sounds like a stripper at a strip club. I'm just saying.
Welcome to the stage. Look,
you're so loquacia.
But I tease her because I'm like, that name Kindle has become her new boyfriend, and I call it Wendell the Kindle. Right now, it's in her hand. She's reading. She's always reading, and I don't understand that, man. I tease her and call her a nerd. But yeah, some people that's her thing, man. They like to read.
Well, it helps me. It helps me escape to a whole nother. It sounds cliche, but a whole nother world. It takes me out of this one, and I'm in somebody else's, and and if it's written, and if it's really, yes, I'll even read comics. I love a good graphic novel, man. Graphic novels are one of my favorite, but especially if it's got a character or two that I can really identify with, it makes it even so much better. So.
Oh, I grew up. I love comic books. I love the graphic novels. I read Walking Dead before it was ever even a television show.
I was so excited when the TV show came out at first because I read the graphic novels, and then after the first couple seasons, I'm like,
they just went so far from the books that, and like I've read the graphic, the Spawn. I love the Spawn graphic novels when they the Batman, a nerd for a second, DC was known for darker, edgier comics, and they started doing like the Batman, and it was the Batman graphic novels, which is kind of what they're basing this new movie series off of. I really like those, but also I'm 42 years old now, and I don't know if it's still acceptable for me to.
Oh, it definitely is, dude.
If it makes you happy, go for it.
Read that shit. Like,
I want to start. I want to start reading the Invincible comics. I've been watching the show, and it's just fucking bad. One of the writers for that is Robert Kirkman, who did The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's probably why I like it, because it has Robert Kirkman's an amazing writer.
I was just saying, Kirkland's had his little fingers in a lot of everything.
Yeah, smart. He's a smart dude for sure.
Somebody talking about fingering what?
What?
Who put what where and why did we do that?
I love when Connor.
Why wasn't I invited?
He sounded kind of like Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused.
Nipples.
Connor had a little.
That movie did not age well.
What, Dazed and Confused?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it was Matthew McConaughey's line that goes, "That's what I like about high school girls. I get older and they stay the same age." You think about that, man.
Yeah, it's a movie.
That's still gross.
Yeah,
it is very gross. I mean, when it came out, I thought it was hilarious. I sit and look back now. It's like, wow, I've actually changed for the better.
That's like people now going after John Carpenter for a movie he made back in the 70s. Just because they said, well, I'll tear your clothes off and then we'll tear Lindsay's clothes off. It's like, it was a different time, yes, but at the same time,
it depends on the context. It depends on the context, though. Anyway, I don't want to go into that right now. Yeah, that's a discussion for another time. Which is discussions I like having.
Yeah, it's a good Wednesday discussion. No, but I kind of want to keep this going. It's going to be a kind of a callback, or as we call it on the Nonsensical Nonsense show, a reach around. I'd like to.
Are you going to give me the rusty trombone?
I love it when Chris gives those.
Yeah, sometimes I'm feeling.
Hey,
generous.
the perks of the job, right, Connor?
I'm a generous lover. All right.
Come here, Sasquatch boy.
Nikki says, "Wow," from the bed. Wow, that's why I need my own.
You want to be my Yoda?
Jarvis, the same thing to you. I mean, like
Connor.
what are some of the things I'm trying to keep it on the tracks here, gentlemen?
Sorry.
We got like a half hour left. At least
my fault.
I mean,
that's your fault.
I don't know. Like, I think Mark hit it right on the head. Having an old soul. So like, I listen to a lot of like old music, and of course the podcast helps it out too. But just putting in my headphones and listening to some Midnight Rider or Soul Shine from the not Allman Brothers. Good God. Is it the Allman Brothers who sang fucking that song? Midnight Rider?
Thought it was the Pecan Sisters.
Well, who knows? It might be, Connor. But no, just listening to music and just getting my mind off certain shit sometimes helps.
I got a guilty pleasure of listening to the Monkees, man.
I love the Monkees.
Facts.
Was that supposed to be racist?
No.
What's that?
There was a band back in the day called the Monkees.
Hey, Jarvis,
they had a
you
TV
are
show.
right.
It was amazing.
It is the Allman Brothers.
Okay. Thank you, Kmag.
I'll
You're
fact
welcome.
check you. Don't worry.
Facts on facts, I guess.
Mercy.
What else? What else do you do, Jarvis?
I just have to say it. Facts on facts, I guess. Does it work here? I don't know.
I feel like there's certain things I can't say on what I do, so I'll leave that for a Saturday show. But no,
we're not laying out our kinks tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say no one cares that you.
Connor.
He likes to call me around 2 a.m. and say, "Bring the rope. You can tie me up."
It's 1:15, Connor, and I need the rope.
He's like audio.
And
what's it called? Erotica fixation.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called.
Doing the David Carradine.
That's what I was thinking. Yes, yes. Erotica. That's what it is.
Leggy, let's be honest. He doesn't use lube. It's a dry wank every time. Because it's a sad wank. You use your tube, your tears for lube, your tubes for leer.
Yeah, exactly.
Lube is for amateurs.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you, Leggy.
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Or as we Americans like to say, the David Carradine approach.
I don't know who that is.
I can never remember his name. I just remember him as Kung Fu guy.
Connor, I don't expect you to know who David Carradine is. You're 26.
I'm sorry, Glick. I have a podcast where I talk about the better things of the world. Like movies made back in the 70s.
Well, this isn't.
Sorry, Glick. Sorry, Glick.
Okay, yeah. It's not your podcast, first and foremost. Second of all, you're talking about autoerotic asphyxiation or whatever. Words are hard.
Oh, fuck! I thought it was
better.
Just remember, everyone, it's Glick's show, and Glicking ain't easy.
You say that, but it really is his fucking show.
It is.
You give props where
He always wants to remind us who's in charge.
I give him shit for saying it, but it's true. It is true.
I'm almost afraid to do this after Jarvis, but Connor, would you like to share with the classroom, or should I?
It's going to be interesting.
No, I'll keep it mild. I'll keep it serious. I don't know about you guys. Trying to find a way to put it without going deeper into it, but honestly, I've lost a lot of my original coping mechanisms that were healthy since my health issues started, and so now it's trying to find new stuff, and the ability to do that as a stay-at-home dad, going to school, doing all this other shit, and having lost the ability to use my legs the way I need to use them to be active, which used to be my thing, which was like Blazing. I used to love to go hiking. Chris has seen multiple pictures of me hiking in the mountains out in New Mexico. I love to camp. I love the outdoors. I love spending time with my kids when they're not being assholes. And yeah, damn straight.
Unfortunately, Connor,
the kids usually do take after the parents. Just saying.
You know, Steven, if you would shut the hell up.
Until you die, your kids are always going to be assholes. But
yeah, but they have these moments where they're sweet and they're fun. And
like mine.
Like 2 days ago, like 2 or 3 days ago, I was outside playing catch with my son, and he walked up to me afterward and he gave me a hug, like unsolicited, just gave me a hug, and he said, "I like playing ball with you, Dad. Thanks for playing catch." And I was like, that was nice. And then he turns around 5 minutes later. He's, "I don't want to brush my teeth. Your teeth are gonna fall out." "I don't care." I'm like, well, my fucking dental insurance doesn't cover enough for you to take care of.
You're fine. Well, you know, it's a good thing for him at this moment in time in his life. His teeth are all going to fall out regardless of if he brushes his teeth or not.
Well, he's already lost 3 teeth, and one of them's already got a cavity in it.
Healthy habits need to start
great.
early. Do you mind if I ask you what happened? What happened to your legs? Or
oh yeah, no, I've nothing super crazy. What's that?
That's my fault. His legs don't work properly anymore. I'll tell you on Saturday.
I would usually be able to feel him by the end of the night with you, though, Chris. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't the depth that really got me with you. It was the force at which you.
I was talking about the Sacagawea coins, but that's okay. We'll talk about it on Saturday night.
Oh yeah. No, with my legs, I had a spine surgery that was supposed to help out because I was starting to have numbness in my legs, and I guess I had a pinched nerve. I mean, nothing crazy. It was a herniated disc, and it was supposed to be a real simple surgery, and I had a complication afterwards. And after my surgery, my doctor left. My surgeon just left the fucking hospital, and he was like gone for 48 hours. And it took my wife losing her fucking mind because it went from being an outpatient procedure to, hey, he's going to be admitted and be here for a while. It took her losing her fucking mind for him to come back and say, oh shit, something's really wrong. So they had to run in. I don't know. He must have had an important dinner.
fuck.
I don't know. We've been trying for a while. We've actually been trying for a while to sue for it, and we can't get anyone to take my case. But yeah, so he ended up having to do an emergency surgery and drain a hematoma that was compressing my spinal cord. And I've got some lasting nerve damage. And if you don't know nothing about spinal cords, they kind of control everything, and they send all the signals. So I had a lot of issues with just moving my right leg. And I have a lot of pain that is residual that's not going to go away. So it's going to be there for forever. And so I've got to try and figure out new ways to do things, let alone dealing with the mental aspect of losing your ability to do those things. Now I got to find new healthy coping mechanisms for the shit that I was already dealing with. But that's why I'm going to therapy now is trying to figure out new ways to take those triggers and the things that cause me problems and deal with them in a healthy way instead of going, hey, I'm going to go drink myself into numbness or go smoke pot. And the pot actually really helps with my nerve pain though. So, but yeah, it's been a tough ride. Honestly, I don't have any good coping mechanisms anymore. I've lost a lot of them, and I don't know where to go from here. So,
okay. And
I hate reading. Yeah, there's the podcast. That's great, but dude, I got a week, man. I'm alive all week.
Podcast every fucking day.
Yeah, I can't do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
7 days in the week, and we do 3 days.
Highlight the comments, Glick.
I feel like my mom would love for you to find the surgeon and boot him in the balls because he almost put her into a wheelchair.
No, I was just talking about Leggy's last one.
just.
I want to show you this. Okay.
Agreed, Leggy. Sounds like
Um,
sounds like the doctor needs some ball relocation surgery.
Right?
yeah, no,
To his chin, preferably.
you know,
The old Peter Griffin.
I was
outside of
thinking Hugh Jackman.
yeah, right on the chin.
The old ball chinian.
Yeah, that was such a terrible movie, but so good at the same time. Um, Leggy, you're fine. Don't worry about Mondays. No, I was gonna tell Connor, but he can't hear me. I was gonna be like, if you want a podcast more than 3 nights a week, we do have an opening on Thursdays and Sundays. We can just cancel promoting some other podcast.
Thanks, asshole.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to be involved. That's Connor's.
Well, I watched a couple of Jarvis's stuff earlier today. You keep them pretty pithy. They're pretty short and to the point.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. No, that's your thing, dude. I'm just saying. I'm sure that can be worked around with.
We'll put the Connor show on Thursday night at 8:00 and put him up against talking shit.
I feel like Connor would win that.
No, I'm just teasing. No, you guys. I mean, you guys all have like great things you do. I mean, obviously, you have to find the distraction. You have to find the outlet to try to make the negative into a positive, so to say. Myself personally, like I said, obviously the podcasting thing, I love doing it. I enjoy coming up live. It's been a long road with this podcasting thing. We're looking at 3 years, and now after 3 years, it's like things are finally starting to happen. I'm super excited. I'm super stoked. But yeah, I mean, this is even going way back to Periscope. I love coming on live. I'm not doing it 7 days a week. Yeah, I'm not doing it 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I try to have some kind of content, some kind of actual content, but this is my outlet. This is what I like to do. I enjoy gaming. I started gaming a little bit more lately. But it's my way to relax. It's kind of my way to forget about all the craziness. I don't do it as much as I used to, but going for drives, exercising, going to the gym again, I don't do that as much as I used to. I do need to get back into the gym. Hopefully, I was hoping to shoot for this week. Unfortunately, the joys of starting new jobs. Well, like Nikki started a brand new job, and I'm still where I'm at, just a new company. The joys of having to wait for that first paycheck. So the focus is elsewhere this week. So I'm not going to be in the gym this week, but I'm hopefully by next week or the following week. I do want to start going back to the gym. Working out for me, I'm a very routine type of person. I like to do things, kind of the same. Once I hit that routine, it'll take me a couple of days to get that routine down. Then it'll just be clockwork. Go to work, come home, change, go to the gym, come home, shower, whatever. Podcast, hang out, watch TV, do Nikki goes to bed early because she is not a daytimer, as she said. She's got to get used to being a daytimer again, so she's going to bed earlier right now until she gets readjusted into the daytime life. She was a bartender for 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow, nice.
So yeah, she's had daytime jobs before, but she's not the daytime type.
No, it's stupid.
It's stupid. She just said
Sunlight is dumb. I was a nighttime mechanic for a while, and I agreed. Whenever I was working night shift, the daytime was dumb.
Daytime always causes
one of the
problems.
perfect shifts.
Nights just got to fix.
Well, before Glick met Nikki, she used to sleep in a coffin during the day. So
Where do you work at, Jarvis?
I'm a
Jarvis, aren't you
content
already
creator.
on her shit list?
What's that?
Oh, Steven, this is for you from Nikki.
Hey, Nikki, right back
I
at
said,
you.
aren't you already? Yeah, he. Maybe this is from Steven. Yeah. Aren't you already on her shit list, Steven?
Hey, if I could keep doing it, why not? Find something you're good at. Facts on facts.
Yeah, I guess if you got to find one thing in life you're good at, pissing people off should be that one thing.
Pissing Nikki
He's
off.
working on trying to be number one on that shit list.
Facts on facts,
Hey,
buddy.
he's trying to take the pressure off of you, Glick.
Yeah, what are you bitching about, you Sasquatch?
If he bumps me off the number one spot, then more power. Hey, you keep it up, Jarvis. I'm your number one
Sad
fan.
thing
brother.
is, Kmag, I don't think I'll ever be able to knock him off that list.
But now, you know, I tell you what, one of my favorite shifts I've ever worked, and I only did it for a very short time period in my life, was second shift. I fucking loved it, man. I went in at 3 o'clock. I was off at 11 o'clock. You know, 11 o'clock at night, if you're going to the club or the bar,
that's when it's kicking off, man.
That's prime time. You're there for a few hours, or if you're getting off work and we didn't have cell phones back then. Well, we didn't have cell phones back then, so it was like before I left, I'd call my buddy at his place, or one of my buddies be like, "Hey, what's going on tonight? Hey, we're having a bonfire. Get your ass out here. I'll see y'all in an hour." You know, and then I could go out there and I could hang out and have some beverages and have a good time, and then go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning and get up at noon, take my shower, you know, shower, shave, and drive into work, and I was gold. The second shift was nice. I've never worked a third shift. I'm not a third shift guy. But I've also, the majority of my life, I'm a daytimer, man. I'll get up in the mornings and do what I need to do, but you know, like I said, you know, we all find those things in life that help us refocus and find the good and find the positive. Kmag, or not Kmag, I'm sorry. Clayton was talking earlier about meditation. I found meditation years ago, and like Blazing said, it's not the sitting crisscross applesauce and a lot of times I just zone out. I'll be sitting in the living room watching TV, and I just zone out, and that's meditation. For I'm just in my head. I'm somewhere else. In my head, I'm somewhere else. I'm just zoned out, but I'm getting that clarity. I'm getting that. All right, it's all going to be fine. That kind of that woo-saw movement, Hey, buddy, love you. I'll see you in the morning. You got that kind of woo-saw moment, and just kind of taking a look back at the day or the week or a certain thing, and then a few minutes later, boom, snap back to reality, like Eminem said. And then I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm good now. I think a lot of people, when they hear the word meditation, they have that, shogun monks, in a palace on the side of a mountain type shit. And it's not really
this is
that.
How you do it, grasshopper.
Sometimes you just need that moment. I mean, even Kmag said sometimes you just sit in the room and go, or not Kmag, Blazing. Sorry, I keep doing that. You go wall, light, flag, belt, mirror. Just kind of bringing yourself,
back
bringing that
into the moment.
I
do want to share something real quick. Something I've done once in my life, and I need to find another. I need to find a place to do it again. Have you guys ever been into a depredation? I think it's depredation tank.
Decompression tank.
Well, it's like 12 inches.
Deprivation tank.
Sensory deprivation. Yeah.
Sensory deprivation.
Yeah.
It's like 12 inches of water. It's filled with I forgot the salt, balsam. I forgot this type of salt, but you're buoyant and you're closed off, and you have like this very peaceful noises coming in. You just float, and you feel weightless, and you feel so isolated from the world. It's actually pretty peaceful.
Yeah, I've done it one time. And the only reason
Deprivation, thank you.
the only reason I got the
See,
opportunity.
words are hard.
That's right.
Facts on facts.
You think we make this shit up around here?
Well, to be fair,
Most of it was Glick not knowing how to say anything, so he's like, words are hard. That's a good catchphrase.
Letterkenny is an awesome show.
I love Letterkenny.
Shorzy's funnier.
Oh, I love Shorzy. Years and years ago, I got the opportunity to work for the Ohio State Medical Center, and we got one of those. The building I was in was a sports. It was a pavilion and a tower. The tower was basically all James Cancer, and the pavilion was a sports medicine. And they got one of those chambers, those deprivation temperature chambers, whatever the hell it's called. And being an employee there, they're like, "You guys want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I'm in." But yeah, like Blazing just said, dude, it was the most peaceful experience I've ever had in my life because you're closed off from everything. There's no outside noise. There's nothing, and it is such a peaceful experience. Like, in all honesty, I would, if I was stupid rich, I would buy one. I would have to get a queen size one or a king size one so Nikki and I could sleep together. But I would 100% sleep in one, like a goddamn vampire in a coffin. Because it is amazing. It is an amazing feeling, and you come out of that thing feeling so relaxed.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it. I'm assuming, right, Blaze?
Oh yeah. I took. Of course, I did it when I was a little stoned, but I took a massive amount of CBD just so my body was completely relaxed, and it felt nice. I'll get some noise canceling headphones and okay.
Bose.
Water deprivation. So easy a Sasquatch can use it. You got a commercial there, buddy.
I'm proud of you. You said Sasquatch instead of Wookiee this time. Proud of you.
Oh, he's a Sasquatch Wookiee hybrid.
He's so racist. Wookiees and Sasquatches are not the same. You don't even
okay, calm down. We get it. Han Solo died. Okay, get over it.
I don't care.
You know,
if I was a Wookiee, I would have ate it. I would have chewed his head off.
Star Trek is better.
Neither of them are better. They're both fucking terrible.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you, Chris. You're wrong.
Nerds.
Oh, excuse me for liking fantasy movies.
This whole Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones bullshit, that's giving me mental problems.
Yeah, where's Jeff with his nerd clip? We need that.
Listen. You're a fucking nerd.
That's my nerd.
No one likes you.
That motherfucker credit for the shit I do.
Next up.
Point text.
Oh, I forgot the S.
Whores are hard.
Listen, I don't know what kind of horse you've been with, but
expensive ones, way too expensive ones.
Evidently, him and Danny Bonaducci know the same ones.
I spent a lot of time in Thailand.
I was gonna say him and.
I did spend 2 years in Guam. Close enough.
Dude, I've heard so many good things about Guam.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, gentlemen. We are coming close to the end of the.
But Blazing, to answer the question you had before, content creator. That's my job, I guess.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. I know you got walked on by Connor. He was like, fuck you.
That's
mostly because it's fun. It's not because it's true. He's a good guy.
Oh, he is.
Hi. Oh, you're waving?
Okay. Thank you, Connor. Thank you.
Hi. You're welcome.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Do you want to sit back on my lap real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Come here.
I want to be part of the show.
It's like Connor's kids when they take over.
Help you.
Every time my boys see my see me on the podcast. Like, can we say hi? Yeah, dude.
We got to.
I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing it.
Nonsensical Nonsense, the kid show.
I think one night you had to go empty your colostomy bag because you're old, and
Sometimes you got to make the bladder gladder.
I don't know. We're doing a show and Connor just disappears, and then 30 seconds later, from the corner of the screen, we see.
That's too high.
Hey guys, I think it was Carson, and that night Carson had brought like chocolate to Connor and stuff. So I just started interviewing him, hanging out with him and chit chatting with him, and he put the headphones on and sat down in the chair and just started talking up a storm. And Jeff was being weird and being Jeff, and I just muted Jeff's mic.
Wanna listen to
And Connor came back and was like, "What the hell did you say to my son?"
Hello.
Glick said you're a dickhead.
We hung out with him.
Oh shit! Did you have the headphones on?
No, she didn't when
No.
you said it. I took them off right before you said
Oh my
it.
god! Oh my god!
That's probably not the worst she's heard, but I'm
No,
sure.
it's not. Hey, whoa.
I still would have felt bad.
Oh, yeah.
You're a DICKHEAD.
Dad, what's a shatheed? That's you.
Dad, what's talking? Some podcast no one wants to talk about.
No, no, I can behave myself when the children are around.
Yeah, sure, okay, Glick.
I mean, you guys see my kids. They just come in and just, and then apparently earlier my oldest daughter and her two friends just giggling. So
I ain't gonna, dude. I have about reached the end of my candle, so I'm gonna have to balance this.
Oh no, so I'm getting ready to wrap it up too.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you can hang around for just a few more minutes, if not, before you dip out, I'm gonna ask
I
you
do have one thing I want to leave you guys with. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you can hang around for a few more minutes. I'm actually going to wrap this up. Gentlemen, Kmag, give us I'm gonna do my little spiel and stuff like that, play a song. When we come back, I'd like for you guys to give a quote, words of inspiration, anything like that. Jarvis and Connor kind of know the routine, if you will. But if you guys can hang out for just a couple more minutes, just something to close the show out with, I'd greatly appreciate that. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Huge thank you to Kmag and Blazing. Thank you guys for coming on the show tonight. Love to have you guys back on the show again.
Sure.
Just to, whether it be a topic of conversation or just to get to know you guys a little bit more, allow our audience to get to know you guys a little bit more, and not only that, but also check on you guys and make sure you guys are doing good in your progress and all that fun jazz. So I do appreciate that. I really do. I do appreciate you guys coming on here tonight.
I've had a blast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice. And the door's always open on Monday nights for all men. This is Men Camp for Men. We encourage everybody to share the show, tell your loved ones, get in the chatter box, engage in the show. Not only that, but if you want to come on the show and share your story, just reach out to us. We are on all forms of social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The show is live every Monday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and then we are on all podcasting platforms. So we are not hard to reach. We're not hard to find. Go ahead and give us a follow, give us a listen, give us a share. Run on over to bio.link/nonsensical nonsense. All those links are there. I also invite you guys to check out all the other shows, because we do have a lot of other options and a lot of other content here at Nonsensical Nonsense. Monday nights has been Caring for Men. Tuesday nights is Dollars and Cents. It's Jeff, Sam, and Vera with a business show. Wednesday nights is Nonsensical Nonsense. You're unhinged, unapologetic, just people having fun, hanging out, chit-chatting and bullshit.
Rude and rude.
Thursday nights, network nonsensical nonsense. We take the night off to make room for our guys over at Talking Shit. Make sure you're checking them out. Make sure you're following them because they've already got booked up for all of April and all of May with guests from horror movies, musicians, you name it. They're lining up guests like nobody's business. Check it out on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube at Talking Shit. Also on Thursdays, Leggy drops Helen's mixtape on 365radio.co, 3 p.m. our time in the States, 8 p.m. her time over there in Scotland. And then late nights on Thursday is Ted Hicks with Late Night Parents. I think they usually do the show around 11 when they do the show. They haven't done a show in a hot minute. But check them out on Thursdays. Friday nights, the first and third Fridays, or as he did, I host Flicks House of Music on the Nonsense Network. Just had Rock Lee on there. Make sure you check out that episode. It is on YouTube, and hopefully by tomorrow it'll be up on all the podcast platforms. That was a fun interview. That was only going to be an hour and a half. That turned into 4.5 hours. And Saturday's Nonsensical Nonsense is back, unhinged, unapologetic, but with a twist. We dropped the link. It's the open door challenge, and everybody is welcome to join us. Don't be shy. Go ahead and hit that link and join us. Sundays, Jarvis drops a brand new episode of the Jarvis podcast. And also Sunday evenings, Leggy does her music documentaries at Leggy Lady 01 on Twitch. So go check out all the shows. Lots of content creators.
Go around, but guess what? Why don't we go around her?
With that being said, I do want to wrap the show up. This has kind of become our closer. I love this song. It kind of encompasses mental health as a whole. But it is Shinedown's Save Me. And we'll be right back with closing words.
Well, I got a candle and I've got a spoon. I live in a hallway with no door.
little shine down what saved me. I did forget one shout out, and you'll have to apologize. You have to forgive me. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, bright and early. Fireman Rich on Twitch. Go ahead and check him out with his morning. Good morning and coffee. He's doing his thing, hanging out, having a good time. Anyways, everybody listening, everybody watching, thank you guys. Appreciate it. The guys who were on the panel tonight, thank you guys as always. Blazing and Kmag, thank you guys especially. Blazing, I know you got to run, so I want to go ahead and hit you first. Before we leave, what would you like to leave the people with? Listening may hear this.
No such thing as bad feelings is how we react to them.
Amen to that. K-Mag, what you got for the people before we dip out?
Well, mine's not as friendly as that was. Mine's more oil field related. So if there's anybody in here in the oil field, you'll get it. But don't put your pecker where you wouldn't put your hands, boys.
That's very good advice.
That's very
I
good
feel
advice.
like definitely in an oil field, that is great advice.
It is because
Hey, look, a machine that goes up and down. I want to put my pecker in it.
well, I mean, if you look at like some of the old timers, how they're missing like digits on like one hand or whatever, and they walk around looking like this half the time. They get them, so they don't use them anymore, but they used to use chains on the drill pipe, and they'd sling them up. Well, you got to hold the chain in place while the drill pipe's tightening down. Well, their fingers would get caught underneath that drill pipe, and you're talking about a whole lot of pressure.
Yeah. I just want to say Nikki fell asleep, and she woke up to your words of wisdom, and all she had to say was, "You were snoring, baby."
No, my God.
Okay.
Wait.
That
might have been her, but not me.
Maybe she's blaming the dog. Anyways, Jaravishi.
Hey, yo, I got one here. It's healthy to admit you're not okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's brave, but don't let it win. Be sad, have your moment, your day, your week, then do something about it and be happy for yourself. That was a lot of fucking words there.
Connor. Hi, Princess.
All I got is, it's tough to do, and I know it's cliche, but just try and win every day.
Yep.
Just have a win, whether it's a small win or a big win. Don't let the shit and the trauma from the past live your day. Hell, I don't know how I wanted to say what I wanted to say in the last part, but fuck it.
Control.
Thank you. Words are hard, but
I got you. I got you, buddy. And you guys know me. You guys know I'm always going to leave you with more than one, but I have a mainstay, but this one I did come across. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive and not where you're going.
Damn,
this one's a mainstay.
Like, no,
this one's a mainstay, and this one means a lot to me. I love this quote, especially for us men. A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks that are thrown at him. And last but not least, this one's special just for you, Connor. If rubbing alcohol is for outside boo-boos, then drinking alcohol is for inside boo-boos.
you can also use rubbing alcohol for inside boo-boos.
Yes, you can, but it tastes horrible. I'll tell you that much. Been down that road.
Don't drink as much as the inside boo-boo alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Small doses go a long way.
Nothing will ever be your problem again.
With that being said, the guys here at Men Caring for Men, have a great week, everybody. You guys take care. Don't be afraid to talk. We'll see you next Monday night. Hit this.